chillin', everything will feel the same. Feel the same. I just gotta know. How come when I pull up, I'm like, here we go again. Go again. That's why I just gotta know. Why we even different? Why I feel the same anytime we kick it? We just can't get with it. Ain't no fixing. Here we go again with another lie that's told in vain. Avoid the pain, even though we need to say goodbye. I feel the same. So codependent, this hurting been open-ended. We just been hoping we ain't have to say it's over-ended. But the wound is open, let it be. You let it be. Love it and set it free. But the end of you and me, I thought this new to me. But I just gotta know. How come when we chillin', everything will feel the same? Feel the same. I just gotta know. How come when I pull up, I'm like, here we go again. Go again, that's why I just gotta know. Can you tell me what the deal? I'ma go ahead and tell you how I feel. I just gotta know. Can we keep it real? Lately I'm losing myself. Can you tell me what the deal? I'ma go ahead and tell you how I feel. I just gotta know. Can we keep it real? Lately I'm losing myself. When did we change? When did all the love that we had go away? Yeah. When did we change? When did all the love that we had go away? I just gotta got me in my feelings. Scared I beat to reach the ceiling, and it's not appealing. Thoughts that I ain't trying to deal with, cause I'm feeling like I ain't enough. And I'm terrified I'll never find another you, never be another us. But why take me ending us? Just get that picture up. I wish it was, but that ain't us. And that was love, but we a different us. I ain't flawless, I'm not to blame for all this. I ain't trying to say that you was, I just know it's time to call it. I just gotta know. Can you tell me what the deal? I'ma go ahead and tell you how I feel. I just gotta know. Can we keep it real? Lately I'm losing myself. Can you tell me what the deal? I'ma go ahead and tell you how I feel. I just gotta know. Can we keep it real? Lately I'm losing myself. When did we change? When did all the love that we had go away? Yeah. When did we change? When did all the love that we had go away? I just gotta know why we can't admit we finished. We ain't quitting, gave it all to us to give it. We done did it, I don't think that we could say it. We became the victims, lately I've been feeling like I'm losing myself. Can you tell me what the deal? I'ma go ahead and tell you how I feel. I just gotta know. Can we keep it real? Lately I'm losing myself. Can you tell me what the deal? I'ma go ahead and tell you how I feel. I just gotta know. Can we keep it real? Lately I'm losing myself.
Olympic hero Kurt Angle, and you're listening to the We Are Wrestling podcast.
Yo, listen, this is the best wrestler alive, Platinum Max, and you're listening to the We Are Wrestling podcast.
Hey everybody, Eric Bischoff here, and you are listening to We Are Wrestling podcast.
Hello everyone, this is Nunzio, former WWE Cruiserweight Champion, and you're watching We Are Wrestling podcast.
We Are Wrestling podcast. Check them out, man.
Stay tuned, listen to the podcast. Best one, Donnie might teach you a thing or two.
We Are Wrestling. And if you don't listen to it, then it's one-on-one with The Undertaker.
Featuring your hosts, Danny and Donnie. We are wrestling.
What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host with the most, Mr. We Are Wrestling himself, the best one, Donnie, here with...
What is going on? We are Wrestling Maniacs Worldwide. It has been 1/3 of We Are Wrestling podcast. It's a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening, wherever you are, depending on your time zone. It's been a pretty good day so far. But, Danny, how you doing today, bud?
What's going on, man? I mean, if I do say so myself, our intro is a banger. I didn't want to stop. I was jamming out.
Yeah.
But I had to, man. We have a lot to get into. Donnie, what is going on? My roast, my mice and rodent-loving friend.
Not much is going on. I'll talk about it a little bit during, like, when we get into how our week has been.
Yeah,
it's been pretty damn stressful for me. But if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already and you're listening to this episode, wherever you get your podcasts, Give us a 5-star review, not just any review, a best one review, and download the episode and give us a follow. But if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac, you're already over on the YouTube channel where you get the best pro wrestling content, and you can catch these episodes live every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you're not a part of the thousands of subscribers, we recommend you to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications. Videos be coming out of nowhere like an RKO. And of course, you already know the grind is real.
Yeah, I mean.
So, how's everybody's week's been?
Apparently better than yours, man. So much better that I ended up starting a first thing on the We Are Wrestling channel here called the We Are Wrestling Fact.
That's going to be a new thing, I'm assuming.
Yes, it's going to be a new thing. Every single week, there's going to be a new fact sporadically throughout the episode, giving us facts about yours truly, the hosts. Yep.
All right, well, fact number 1 is Best One Donnie has a grave fear of mice and numerous rodents, which is absolutely true. Donnie is not afraid of heights. I will jump off of anything, but when it comes to a little mouse, you bet your ass I am running for the hills.
In wild, bro. Oh, and also fun fact about Danny today, he pet a donkey, ladies and gentlemen.
I did, bro.
That's We Are Wrestling fact number 2.
Yeah, he pet a donkey today.
The kids are on April vacation. We went to the zoo earlier today, and it was awesome. I saw the fastest turtle imaginable. That motherfucker was like heading to the sewer to get some pizza or something.
Oh yeah, dude.
Hell yeah, let's go. Maybe he's a ninja.
Yeah,
But
dude.
we do got a bunch of maniacs here in the live chat. Let's show some love. We got Angelo, We Are Wrestling member, 17 months. What is going on, Angelo? We got Bradley here in the chat. We got James all day. We got Alex Johnson, Liv Morgan's number 1 fan, and a bunch of other beautiful We Are Wrestling maniacs here.
Bro, bro will climb a ladder, but if a mice comes in, he'll be gone. Fuck yeah.
And the first thing I do want to start things off with is we want to thank all the new followers on the We Are Wrestling Facebook page because we just reached 8,000 followers. And we could thank Stephanie McMahon because she can't keep her hands off of Triple H when she first met him. And that video is at over 1 million views.
That is wild.
That is wild. It's the stupidest shit that goes viral nowadays, bro. I don't understand.
Dude, it really does.
Bro will climb a ladder, but if a mice comes in, he's gone. You bet your ass I'm fucking gone, Angelo.
Bro, I am not used to wearing headphones, man. And these are noise canceling.
I was gonna say, did you pick those up at the zoo?
No.
So what you're saying is Corey could get shot in the foot right now and you wouldn't hear him?
Probably not. I wouldn't hear nobody, bro.
House could be burning down and you'd be like jamming. Fuck yeah.
It's weird. Like I can hear myself, but it's like I'm inside my own head. I don't know. It's weird. I'm not used to wearing headphones.
Yeah, I have to because then I start tripping up over things. Then I start getting anxious whether or not like the volume levels are right. So I always have to wear headphones just to make sure that I have my train of thought.
That's how I am.
Same here, bro. It's man.
Very like I stress out like when I like record individual videos like without the headphones. One thing I always stress out about.
Same.
But also, just to let all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs know, if you guys weren't a part of WrestleMania Night 2 live watch along, yes, I did get hit with the Kendall stick. There is the aftermath right there. Thanks to our buddy Ben for giving me some beautiful welts.
Not as beautiful as I could have been, but you know, he's my friend, so I have to remember that.
And we do have a new goal here because unfortunately you guys weren't able to reach the $100 goal to put Danny through a table. So we still need to get $75 more, and this time we're going to do something even better. And Ben, you don't even know this.
Oh.
For a whole episode of the We Are Wrestling podcast, Danny, just like Bart Simpson back in the day in detention after school, he had to go on the chalkboard and write stuff. Well, Danny's going to have a piece of paper, and he's going to have to write, I love Charlotte Flair for a whole episode.
Oh, my God. You're going to have to get him like some fucking composition notebooks, bro, because he's going to be writing for a while.
Oh, we're going to have a whole book.
A whole book for it? Danny, do you know how to spell Charlotte? Okay.
Unfortunately.
And maybe what we'll do, too, is for the maniacs that actually do donate to this cause, the pages that Danny writes, because our episodes go for like an hour and a half, 2 hours long, maybe we'll send you guys some of the letters written by Danny himself.
Yeah, maybe
Yep.
So if you guys
I'll
want to
autograph
see
it
that
for you.
happen, get us to the goal. You guys already got $15 worth, or no, $25 worth. We need $75 more to make that.
I'd rather. It says I'd rather go through. I'd rather him go through a table. Same, but due to certain circumstances, he can't do that. But after, if you guys reach this goal, the next goal is I take 2 fucking steel chair swings right to my back. So we're going back
yeah.
physical after
I'm
that.
surprised
so.
you still okay. So you're not high right now, and you want to do that still?
Yeah.
All right.
Dude,
Hell freaking yeah. That is what I'm talking about.
okay,
But we also made an announcement towards the end of last week's episode of the We Are Wrestling podcast. So moving forward with our predictions, anytime we do WWE PLEs, they will be the week of the pay-per-view or Premier Live event. And we're going to be crowning a new We Are Wrestling predictions champion. That's right. We are having a We Are Wrestling championship. And our first champ will be crowned at WWE Backlash, which is Saturday, May 10th, which we'll be doing a live watch along for. And for WrestleMania, I went back, I did the research.
And so far, Danny is our fucking champion. I know.
Here it is, right? Here's the graphic. So in first place, Danny with 10 predictions correct. Ben, you're in second place with 9, and I'm in last place with lucky number 8.
It's between you and me, fucker.
I didn't even know I got the most predictions right.
You did. You got the most predictions right.
Yep.
But
so you might be the first.
It's still anybody's game because when we do the predictions for Backlash, whoever does have the most points by then will be crowned the first champion, and we should have that championship in hand by Backlash.
Yeah. So, yeah, Danny, you might be the first, but I'm one step behind you, bud. Who knows? I might sneak up and give you a little poke in the butt cheek. Ooh.
I mean,
that do sound good. Ooh.
No, but like, I kind of feel like I pay more attention than you two. Like, I have less of a life when it comes to certain stuff, because
I'll give you that.
My content is around like Raw, SmackDown, so I watch consistently every single week. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got to give you
also
that.
Watch NXT. You watch freaking NWA.
So you kind of have that edge.
You watch
so
OVW.
Motherfucker, I'll take that shit. I'll take that shit. The being one step behind, I'll take that shit. I'll take that shit for someone who doesn't.
Just so
watch
you know,
shit.
if you are champion, you can defend your championship in other ways on the We Are Wrestling channel too. Just to put that out there.
We'll have to figure out how, but yes.
But predictions will always be like a manual thing. But all right, so now with that being said, let's get into the power of the poll. And this week we asked you guys, we did 4 different polls because we want to find out who has the best spear. And each winner in the poll will be going into next week's power of the poll, and we will be picking a winner. So for pool number 1, here are the results. You want to hit? Oh, yeah.
I got this.
And the winner is Goldberg by a landslide. 68% of you guys picked Goldberg, while 9% picked Bobby Lashley, 5% picked Charlotte Flair, and 19% of you guys picked Rhino. Do you agree or disagree?
Oh, I fucking disagree 100%, dude. The gore was so much fucking better than any fucking Goldberg spear. Like, yeah, Goldberg's had a couple of fucking really nice spears, but every single one of Rhino's spears have been flawless, and he puts all that force into that shit. He makes in the cells on the gore, bro, have been unstoppable. So no, dude, I don't fucking agree with that shit whatsoever. That's a generic ass answer. You can tell the casuals pick that shit. I'm sorry.
It depends on it depends on what area you're talking about. Like, I feel like Goldberg in WCW, like at the height of his career, he was,
what's up?
He was definitely like, there's nobody like Goldberg when it comes to the spear. Like, he fucking, and then he did the fucking jackhammer.
We're not including the jackhammer.
The gore was deadly, So I mean, I don't know. Are you talking about Goldberg in WWE or WCW? Like, what are
We're
we
just talking about Goldberg in general, bro.
Who has
His
the best
spears.
spear? That
I'm
is
gonna go
the
with
whole goal of all this.
Yeah, dude. We're not going by timeline. I'm going with the Gore, 100%.
Part of me got to kind of go with Goldberg just because his spear was deadly in WCW.
Yeah, for me, I'm going with Rhino because like that dude was on a whole nother level. It didn't matter if it was ECW, didn't matter if it was WWF, didn't even matter if it was TNA. Rhino's gore shits on Goldberg's spear any day of the freaking week, especially when Rhino friggin' put Jericho through the stage. Nothing will ever top that for me when it comes to a spear. And I hope they recreate that with Braun Breaker sometime.
That's how you know the casuals picked this fucking answer. That's how you know, dude, because I'm just like, the Gore is so much better. It's not even close to be Goldberg.
Where's Braun Breaker? Well, he is in another pool because the way that we did this, we broke it down into 4 different categories so that next week, all 4 winners in each pool will go against each other, and then you guys will get to vote who has the best spear overall. So now let's get into pool number 2. And the results are 79% of you guys picked Braun Breaker, while 18% picked Roman Reigns, 2% picked Moose, and 1% picked this guy from Mexico. Mil Molasco or something like that. Can't pronounce his name.
That's not even close. Braun Breaker just like hand delivered us the best spear that we've ever seen in fucking television history. Not too long ago. So no, that tracks. That tracks 100%.
Braun Breaker's like a fucking missile launcher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Braun Breaker, that's an easy one right there. We all knew Braun Breaker, whatever category he was in, he was making it to the finals.
I feel like it's also very unfair to the other guy as well as Moose, because I like, especially for me, like I don't watch enough of him. I've only seen Moose wrestle once, and that was against Obafemi. So, I'm not educated enough to really speak on how his moveset is.
Braun Breaker's spear was just so good it tops everything. I'm sorry.
Out of 400 votes, that guy only got 1 vote. 1%.
Damn.
All right, well, let's get into pool number 3.
Oh, shit. Yeah. One time I forgot.
Ben's not used to it. It's okay. And here it is with the results. 81% of you guys picked Edge. 11% picked Kairi Sane. 6% picked Big E. And only 2% picked Angelo Dawkins.
So I feel like if Kairi was in a different roster as the other ones, it was mixed among the other ones, she definitely would have had a higher percentage because Kairi does have a pretty insane fucking not insane elbow, no pun intended. But Edge being there, dude, yeah, like the dude's made that his signature shit, and he's delivered some of the most prolific spears and especially moments. So that's 100%.
Yeah, bro.
Well, Edge definitely got the biggest percent here, so we're gonna have to wait and see when he goes against Braun Breaker and Goldberg.
Hey, his name is
Hey, we haven't even got to the 4th one yet, dick.
Well, that was a segue. And the last winner we have is Batista, 76% of you guys, while 14% picked Ricky Saints, 8% picked the new world champion Jey Uso, and 3% of you guys picked the Big Show. Do you agree?
It makes sense. It makes sense. Batista, 100%. I forgot the Big Show did the spear for a while. Ricky Saints got a pretty dope one. But yeah, it belonged to Batista, 100. I like Jey Uso's spears sometimes, but other than that, they're kind of sloppy, and it looks like he's trying to give more of a bear hug.
Jey Uso's spear looks fucking absolute ass, bro.
I was trying to be a little bit more lukewarm about it, but yeah, I kind of have to go with you there.
Ricky has a nice looking spear, though. I do agree with that. I do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I picked Ricky Saints. I thought that he has a little bit more of a unique spear. Like Batista's, like we've kind of seen from like other people, even though it is a devastating spear. So I can understand why he won.
All right, so are we in the finals now, or?
So the finals, the only way we can find out who has the best spear next week on the Power of the Poll. So if you guys want to go vote now, you can go do that after the podcast. So, with that being said now, let's get into our We Are Wrestling highlight of the week. What's your guys' favorite thing that happened this week in the wrestling world? Start off with you, Ben.
All of Raw after Mania. All of Raw after Mania. That's literally what a WrestleMania is supposed to be. So, but at the same time, I can't blame it because night 1 felt like the opening of what's to come. Night 2 felt like Mania. and then fucking Raw felt like the grand finale because like everything made sense after Raw. Yeah, dude. Raw after Mania, we had so many good moments, like Becky Lynch finally turning heel, which we kind of saw coming, but at the same time, not this soon. So it makes it interesting. We saw Randy Orton being confirmed as John Cena's next opponent for Backlash. We saw the return of Rusev. There's a lot of cool things that happen on Raw. Braun Breaker aligning with Seth Rollins. It's a big thing that's happening at Backlash. We got CM Punk and fucking Roman Reigns versus Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins. Like, it's going to be a big thing,
and
dude.
You already know we're going to be talking about all of this throughout this episode of the Wrestling Podcast.
Yeah, we're after Mania.
That's right. So, Daddy, what's your highlight of the week?
Can my highlight of the week be something that I'm really, really excited about, but hasn't happened yet?
Yeah,
yes,
of course.
My highlight of the week is definitely going to be seeing this Friday Aleister Black make his WWE return.
Oh my God, yes, I forgot, bro.
Wait.
I'm gonna be fucking dude. I almost want to stream that night. I'm
thinking about it too.
Ooh.
Because Aleister, man, I'm excited about that.
It's gonna be a big one. It's gonna be such a big night, bro. Like, I feel like this entire week is gonna be still like the aftermath of WrestleMania. So like the Raw after Mania was huge. I feel like SmackDown. Plus, we have that TLC ladder match for the tag titles.
Ooh, that TLC match I'm very excited about. I'm just not excited for the commercials. But real quick, Angelo, did you guys hear The Rock's excuses on the Pat McAfee show? Yes, we did, and we're going to be talking about that in the weekly news and rumors. But now getting into my highlight of the week, out of all the crazy things that happened, I got to go with Karrion Kross, that promo after WrestleMania, him just cutting that pike bomb. Man, I think he just like created a superstar out of himself, and like he's been picking up a lot of momentum the last couple weeks. But like now, I think that like he put himself in a situation where it's like do or die. Like he went out, like he pretty much went in and pretty much said exactly what was going through his mind while still like focusing on the storyline that he has with AJ Styles. And I think that he put WWE in a predicament here where it's like, you either need to push me or let me go and do something better. I loved everything about that promo with Karrion Kross, and I really want to see him like get pushed.
Oh, he's going to after that shit, dude. Like Karrion's got a bright future, man. His feud with AJ is going to be insane.
Oh, 1000%. But a couple highlight of the weeks that we have in the live chat here. We have Alex Johnson. My highlight of the week is Tiffany retaining, Fatu winning, Dominic winning, EO winning, and the entire Raw after WrestleMania 41. Man, there is a lot of great highlights this week, and we might as well start getting into it with our We Are Wrestling weekly TV recap. And a lot of the times when we get new champions, we like to talk about them during the recaps. So we decided that we're going to talk about all the new champions that we got in WWE this past weekend during Mania. And starting things off here, we do have the new NXT Women's North American Champion, Sol Ruca. I know, Ben, you don't really watch NXT, but
yeah,
Danny,
I have no idea.
What's your thoughts on this?
I did not watch Stand and Deliver. I was planning my entire weekend. I was gonna stream Stand and Deliver and then WrestleMania, whatever. But last minute I got notified that it was my niece's birthday, so I didn't watch the show because by the time I was going to, everybody had told me what happened or whatever. But Sol Ruca, I'm a fan of. I do think it's only a matter of time before she gets called up to the main roster. Her finisher, the Soul Snatcher, whatever it's called, bro, is fucking absolutely gorgeous. And it's out of anybody in pro wrestling, it's like one of the most unique finishers I've ever seen in my life. You know, it's like a reverse fucking backflip or whatever into a neck breaker. Like it looks fucking killer. So I'm really happy for Sol Ruca, and I see big things coming her way.
Oh man, when it comes to like finishers, like it's so hard to like create your own that's like really stands out because there's been so many finishers and wrestling moves that have been executed throughout the years. And by far, she definitely has one of the most unique finishers. Love her character work. And I think that like she makes a perfect mid-card champion. And I could definitely see her in the future, whether when she goes to Raw or SmackDown, maybe holding United States or like an Intercontinental title. I think that she's got a lot of potential. So her getting the title, well-deserved, 1,000%. What is going on, Josh Toy Show? Moving on to our next new champion, we have main event Jey Uso. Lots of people are not happy about this. Are you guys happy?
I like that he finally did it and he finally has a world championship under his belt because we said it. But due to it being here, I'm seriously unfucking sure still. He's over as fuck with the crowd, but in terms of a good champion, I don't know what we're going to see here. It really comes down to Jey.
What about you, Danny? What's your thoughts?
In my opinion, I understand why Jey Uso was picked to be the guy. Like, you know, you have these people, whatever, complaining on Twitter, and then, you know, you turn on Raw on Mondays and you see 15,000 people literally like doing the fucking Geechee, and he gets some of the biggest pops, you know, of the entire show. So I definitely understand why he's champion. I will say I'm happy. It's going to take me a little bit to really see like what he does, you know, as champion or whatever. I feel like we shouldn't judge it yet because it literally just happened. I would wait a couple of weeks, you know, see how things progress. I will say I was not happy with the ending. I didn't think Gunther should have tapped out. I feel like
Same
with the story leading up to it, and you know, Gunther beating up Jimmy and you know the whole thing or whatever. I feel like it would have propelled Jey as well as Gunther if Gunther would have just passed out like he had no other choice. You know what I mean? That's how I think the ending should have been.
I don't know. I thought that they could have found a way to have like Jey beat him dirty or like get like a roll up or something like that. I don't know. I felt like him tapping, I get like it's a way to now like get him pissed off because that's kind of what we saw Raw after Mania with him because the fans were yelling, "You tapped out." So it was kind of like a way to like trigger him. But at the same time, like I didn't like that because I felt like he kind of lost some credibility there, which with Gunther, like he could have taken a pinfall. I think it would have made him look a lot better taking a pinfall rather than tapping out.
Yeah.
But overall, though, I think Jey Uso being champion is the right call. The dude's getting the biggest reactions of the night, except for maybe Roman and Cody Rhodes. But I do think that Jey does deserve it, even if it's a transitional champion, holds it for maybe 3 months or less. I do think that we are going to be getting a heel Sami Zayn because the way he was looking at him, I think that that's going to be a solid first feud for him. And then I do think eventually Braun Breaker or Seth Rollins will take the title off of him, similar to what Joey here said.
Yeah, I'm not upset that Gunther lost. I knew that was going to be the outcome. But instead of having him tapped out, you could have just had him pass out like Jey just squeezed the life out of him pretty much. Kind of like what he did to Pat McAfee. I feel like that would have been a little bit more effective than just having him fucking tap.
I do agree. But moving on to our next champion, we have the New Day.
Stupid. Not even going to fucking talk about it.
Bro, like you guys got me hyped up, man, because like I remember last week on the podcast when we did the predictions, like, you know, you guys were talking about like, or not talking about, but you guys were like, you know, wanting like Big E to return, like it was going to be like a big moment or whatever.
It should have been.
And then they won, and that was pretty much it. Like nothing happened, you know.
And
like,
I hate it.
Majority of this card kind of felt like a mediocre subpar Monday Night Raw to me. Like,
definitely night one for sure. I don't know, man. With New Day, like they should have done something here. Like, why did they beat the War Raiders clean? Doesn't make any sense to me.
Because they haven't won the tag title since 2017. They wanted them to get this big moment.
Yeah, but this could have really like elevated War Raiders. So I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed in this one. Like this was absolutely pointless. Makes me want that TLC. Like, dude, they could have benefited from having that TLC match night one of Mania. That would have made it less boring.
Oh, bro, I would have fucking loved that. Especially since like WrestleMania 17, we had TLC 2. Like, you know, I feel like a little bit like TLC became like sort of a staple for WrestleMania, and then like that sort of spawned the Money in the Bank matches that we used to get at Manias. So I don't know, man. It's kind of amazing that we're just on a podcast, but yeah, we can fucking find better booking decisions than the people that actually doing the booking.
Oh, absolutely. Moving on, we have Jacob Fatu, new United States champion.
Shouldn't have happened at Mania, and I'll stand on that.
Besides the main event, this was the best match of the night.
It was. I think, obviously, like everybody in this room and everybody in this chat believes that Jacob Fatu 100% deserves this. He does. I think that this was a right decision had it been a little bit later. I would have rathered Solo versus Jacob first. I would have had there been some adversity. Give LA a healthy enough reign to make a credible champion and put some prestige on that, because that fucking US title has been passed around more than a fucking joint in Union Street, downtown Springfield lately. It's fucking wild, dude. It's wild. So I felt a lot of disrespect towards LA Knight there. Unless he's winning Money in the Bank, this was absolutely fucking pointless, and I hate what they did to him. I mean, yes, LA Knight is a great dude to put against fucking Jacob Fatu, especially with the history they already have. But at the same time, I still think it was a little too early. However, I think the coolest thing that we got out of this was the possible face turn of Jacob Fatu, especially when he gave LA Knight his flowers in that post match promo. So I think we're 100% getting a face turn from Jacob Fatu soon, and I think that will be what's worth it for me.
Well, I will tell you this right now. This championship will not be getting passed around like a joint or a blunt anymore, because I don't see Jacob Fatu losing this title anytime soon. I am excited to see when Solo Sikoa decides to try to strike at Fatu. I think they're going to wait towards SummerSlam probably, because they want to continue that slow build-up, because Triple H loves long-term. I'm actually very happy with Jacob Fatu winning the title. Yes, it does suck that LA Knight was a transitional champ, but I'm so confident that WWE is going to give him the Money in the Bank briefcase. If not, then it doesn't make sense. But I do think Fatu is going to elevate this title.
100%.
And the crowd is getting really behind him, so I do think it's better now than later to give him the belt.
I will say, out of everything that happened on Mania Night 1,
21 peeps. Wow.
Yes, Joey.
The one thing that I've heard from everybody say is they're happy that Jacob Fatu won. So that means if we can all be in agreement on that Jacob Fatu deserved this moment.
Yes.
And I mean,
1000%.
It's not really a bad thing, you know what I mean?
The timing is just awful. They should never have taken it off of Shinsuke. I would have been happier.
Well, I would have
been like, all right, I could have seen this.
But here's the thing, though. What did I say last week in the predictions? This was a lose-lose situation, because LA Knight, they just gave him the championship back. Jacob Fatu, red hot, which is why in our predictions, we all voted LA Knight, because we thought that Solo Sikoa was going to get involved somehow, some way, because of jealousy. That maybe he's not on the Mania card and Fatu is. But I kind of like that they did swerve us a little bit there, because they did make it a little unpredictable. So I got to give that to Triple H.
That's what makes it okay for me. But what will seal the deal and make me completely accept it is if Jacob Fatu gets a face turn and LA Knight gets the briefcase. That is the only way that I will genuinely accept it, because LA Knight still needs his elevation, because he is still fucking hot as fuck with the crowd. So you still need to keep him going. The only way to do it.
I can't even argue with anything you're saying right now, but you're spot on, 1000%.
But no, Jacob Fatu 100% deserved it.
Our next champion, Dirty Dom, winning the Intercontinental title. I called it, baby.
Dog, 100%. I 100% love this decision. I love it. Dirty Dom's been the most improved player for the last couple of years. Like, the dude has been not only grinding nonstop, but everything he does is entertaining as fuck. So if anybody deserved this moment, it was 1000% Dirty Dom. You definitely did him some injustice with his haircut and his hairline in this fucking picture, but 100%, deserved it.
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure I called it too.
You did. You did.
I sort of said it a little bit different. I was like, I'm pretty sure I said Finn was gonna get thrown out or whatever, or Dom was gonna throw Finn out and then pin and get the win or whatever, behind Finn's back or whatever, and it was gonna sort of cause this dissension that we've been seeing over the last couple of months between Finn and the Judgment Day or whatever. They've been slowly teasing that he was gonna go back to the Demon Finn Balor, and
he's gonna be a face
or whatever.
He's got.
And if you notice on Monday, he was happy,
but he wasn't happy
for Dom. But he once JD came in, he looked at the title before he left. Can I
just address something real quick?
What up?
All right, so I'm reading the live chat here, and it seems like everybody here thinks that he's going to be turning babyface. I don't see it happening. Just because it's WrestleMania weekend. And we just the Raw after Mania, they always fucking cheer for the heels.
Yeah, dude.
Wait till we get 100%. Back to normal television. Dirty Dom is going to be the heel here. Finn Balor is going to be the face. That's what they're setting it up.
And 100% they already confirmed that he's going to be going on a fucking massive solo run here in 2025. So, like, no, dude, he is 100% turning face again. Dom is doing way too good in Judgment Day.
And besides, like, why is Dirty Dom going to be the one to turn babyface when, like, outside of this weekend, he gets the loudest boos out of everybody?
Mm-hmm. You can be a heel and people can still be happy for you for your accolade. That's 100%. People are still fucking forgetting that these guys are human beings. You can still be happy for somebody and still break kayfabe for the happiness of them winning.
I've noticed something, and like
Finn Balor does need like a character change, and I feel like he's already been a boring heel long enough. Like it's time to
Angelo. We're gonna meet back here once he turns face, and then you can apologize to us directly. That's all I'm gonna say, bro.
Like I'm gonna say it, and I even speak for myself, whatever, because I'm this way, or whatever.
He can't go same route as Rhea.
It's so much because
then he's gonna get lost in the shuffle.
It's so much better cheering. Like I love cheering for the heels. Like I was a fan of Punk when he was a heel. I was a fan of Roman when he was a heel. You know what I mean? And like if you notice on Friday,
Roman's still technically a heel.
If you notice on Friday, like half of the arena on SmackDown was booing Cody Rhodes, and half of them were cheering for John Cena. People just love cheering for the bad guy. You know what I mean?
And it's WrestleMania weekend, and of course, like everybody wants to see John Cena win number 17. And this is a similar situation that happened. I was telling Ben this on the live watch along. WrestleMania 18, Rock and Hogan. Like the same thing happened. The Rock was Cody Rhodes with the reactions. And then because Hogan, this was his first WrestleMania in a long time, the crowd, they wanted Hogan over Rock. Cody Rhodes, when he comes back from his break, he's still going to be getting the same reactions that he's been getting. It's literally Mania weekend, and it was a situation where John Cena, everybody wanted to see him win number 17 and beat Flair's record.
But like even like past that, like look at MJF, you know, he's our scumbag. Like even he's talks all the shit to the audience, but yet the audience loves him. There's just something about cheering for the bad guy. So you can't just because somebody gets cheered doesn't mean.
And the last thing I'm going to say about this is like with Dirty Dom, the reason he was getting the reaction he got like during this moment, this one time, because the dude's been a workhorse. He has definitely he is not like you don't think of Rey Mysterio's kid because he's come out and he has created his own career. And I think that everybody knows that he worked hard for this opportunity in this moment.
That's what that's sort of what I was talking about last week. Like, you know, Charlotte Flair, like she's all about her dad. Dominic Mysterio, even though that's Rey Mysterio's kid, like, you know, he's not going out there fucking wearing the mask and, you know, coming out to similar entrance music. You know what I mean? Like there's that separation there. That's what I like.
All right. Well, moving on to our next new champion. We have Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria. But then on Raw After Mania, they lost the titles back to Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez.
The most pointless fucking match of the entire weekend. Especially after what we saw on Monday.
You could have just said that the tag team titles were on the line. Becky Lynch comes out and Becky could have just attacked her right there and we couldn't have had just no championship match. That would have just been a WrestleMania moment I could have gone with. The fuck? I would have just gone with that moment entirely because then at that point that would have been like that would have left everybody with holy shit. That would have brought some more pristine to night one.
Do you think it was forced? 1,000%.
Oh yeah.
Like they could have done the same exact thing here with Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. Like that's what doesn't make sense to me here. Like Bayley, they could have won the titles and then the next night Bayley could have turned on Valkyria. That could have furthered their feud for the Intercontinental title. Like, I just don't understand why Becky had to be the one to do it. And it makes me kind of question like
I heard it was Becky's idea too, but I haven't heard anything like set in stone or whatever, so I don't want to throw somebody under the bus unless we like have confirmation. But
I want to
sure we probably will have some news on it next week. But yeah, no, I don't know how I feel about this. Like, I am excited that the women's Intercontinental title's gonna get some solid television time now, but I do fear that like Lyra's not going to get put over in this situation when she should. Now, when I say this, Becky Lynch, she could take the title from her, but Valkyria should be the one to get the title back from Becky.
Is it just me, or did her return in general just feel kind of underwhelming compared to past returns?
It felt forced. It felt like there's a lot of politics involved. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, something was off.
I was like the night it happened, I was sort of excited or whatever. And I was even excited about her turning heel on Monday. You know what I mean? Just for the idea of like, you know, her and Seth both being heel and she possibly aligning with them. You know what I mean? Paul Heyman's never legitimately had like, you know, a female.
I did read that on narrative online.
You know what I mean? So I was sort of excited about that. I'm not the reason why they wanted the match was to get Liv Morgan on the show. I don't know why they took Bayley out of that situation, but I figured it was because Lyra was Irish, you know, she's from Ireland, Becky's from Ireland, like, you know, the two Irish last kickers or whatever the fuck, you know, they wanted them to be a part. I don't know why they did it, what they did on Monday. They could have did it further down the line, but it is what it is.
I see title for Backlash, that's why. They're trying to give it a proper build, but they had to force and fucking speed up the beginning of it.
But yeah, no, Bradley here makes a good point. This is twice now that they pulled Bayley for Becky at Mania, and Becky won a title. That is true. That did happen to
Bayley. Is 100% all elite, bro.
I recommend everybody in here
that later on in the news.
Yes, we're gonna be talking about it, but I recommend everybody go watch the CVV interview that Bayley did. She did it last week.
Oh yeah, she bouncing,
definitely an eye opener, man. Like she never gets told to do any interview. She never gets. We'll get into it, man. It's
well,
crazy.
Trust me, I got a really good take for that Bayley one, but I'm gonna wait until we get there. But moving on to our next new champion, finally, John Cena, number 17.
I like that he won the accolade because I think I just want to get Ric Flair the fuck out of that memory of having the most reigns. 2, I like that he's champion. I hate how it happened. It was the fucking worst John Cena match I've ever seen. I get that it's supposed to be that way.
It was a little better than the Austin Theory one, even though it still wasn't that good.
But it was fucking stupid. It was clean almost. Like, it just, nobody came out, and I get that's the point too, but it's fucking WrestleMania, bro. Like, you really want your last Mania to be stained with shit with just the fucking picture of people cheering you on because you won it? That's it? Like, it's fucking stupid. Like, at this point, I can't believe I'm fucking saying this, but holy shit, Ricky was right. Holy shit, Ricky was right. I said it. I can't believe I'm saying it, but Ricky was 1,000% right. Yeah, I did this. It's garbage.
Was he right about John Cena or wrestling dying?
John Cena. He was 100% about John Cena. The fact that this only happened to boost sales for fucking Elimination Chamber pisses me the fuck off. And it makes me just
we're
gonna
dive into all that. We do have a Rock news. And I can't wait until we get there.
Yeah.
I heard somebody else
might be getting live hot takes from me.
I heard somebody else's take on this whole John Cena thing, this whole John Rock narrative or whatever. And, you know, instead of having that whole thing take place at Elimination Chamber, you could have had Cena, Cody, babyface versus babyface, and then you could have had John Cena screw Cody Rhodes out of the title as a heel, and that be his heel turn. And then he could have gone on. He could have fucking cut a promo the night, Raw after Mania, whatever, like why he did what he did. You didn't necessarily need The Rock for this entire angle, but The Rock wanted to be in it, and now he doesn't want to be in it, and it pretty much leaves us like, what the fuck is going on?
I think I said that on one of the live watch-alongs to Ben about that narrative. Like, why didn't they just have John Cena, like, build this up as, like, a once-in-a-lifetime match, and then at WrestleMania, had John Cena turn heel on Cody, similar to what Stone Cold did with The Rock at 17. And then, like, we wouldn't have had to wait 3 weeks until he cut a promo, and they could have just built this up as a dream match. You could have gotten Cody training at, like, the Nightmare Factory, John Cena maybe running up, like, a mountain or something. You could have built this up as, like, that big dream match, and then John Cena takes the cowardly way out and hits friggin' Cody with the title or something. Didn't need The Rock, didn't need Travis Scott, didn't need any of that. Like, oh, man, I can't wait to dive into the whole Rock thing, but I'm very disappointed in the way that this happened. Same. But I am very happy for John Cena winning number 17.
This was probably hands down one of the worst built WrestleManias in all 41 WrestleManias.
Period. Oh, absolutely 1,000%. And speaking of WrestleMania, I do want to just overall just talk about night 1 and night 2 of WrestleMania. What were a pro and what was a con?
I think the pro was we got to see a lot of, old school talent that we haven't seen on a Mania card in years, and, kind of getting that sense of nostalgia. I think that it was probably the best ramp that I've seen in a long time that felt very old school comparatively to what we used to get. And it had, again, I think it's just very misplaced fan service is my con. But my pro about the whole thing is, it was WrestleMania. That's it. And it's sad that that's it for me, but that's it.
All right. So what about you, Danny? What's one pro about this year's WrestleMania that you can think of?
Like every WrestleMania season, right? Like, especially if you're like a content creator, there's just so much going on, so much to talk about. Like, there's a level of excitement that's there. Like, that just amps you up, regardless of how the booking is, regardless of how the card is. More so than just somebody just being a spectator. But if you're like, making content, talking about it, like doing what we do, there's always a level of excitement around WrestleMania. Like I was really excited about it. Yeah, even if it sucks, I said on my Monday stream, like if somebody could edit the night 2 card, cut off the main event, and then splice the main event from night 1 onto that and just have that be WrestleMania, that would be a lot better off.
I do agree. Like night 2 definitely felt a lot better than night 1. If I did have to go with one pro, I will say I think
Joey's.
I think just in general, I do think that like the main event for night 1 was absolutely incredible. The storytelling was all there leading up to it. It felt like WrestleMania. But going into night 2, like you were saying, Danny, like the matches felt like WrestleMania. But then when we got to the main event, didn't feel like that because of one certain individual. Cough, cough.
Yeah.
But I do think overall, like the presentation, like Ben was saying, that was a huge highlight for me. Like I love that, like, because for a while, like the WrestleMania stages just were like, meh, like just a big freaking LED board. But it seems like the last 3 WrestleManias, 39, 40, and 41, have had incredible presentations about them. Like the way that like the whole like Las Vegas theme, I loved like the commentary table as like the poker table. That was fucking awesome. I loved the graphics for it with like the whole casino theme of it. Like I enjoyed like the stage, all that, like the presentation, like the last couple Manias I have really enjoyed. But now one con for this year's Mania.
The entire booking, the entire build for it. Like it just they didn't like build any of the stories as if they were important. Like the one story that was really important in this whole thing was the whole CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. Like even Cody Rhodes and John Cena didn't feel very important. You know what I mean? Like they put very little effort. Like I've seen more effort put into subpar PLEs than I did this. You know what I mean? Like I guarantee you the build and booking for Backlash may be a lot better because we're going to be seeing Orton and Cena. So I guarantee you that's going to be better than the entire booking for WrestleMania this year. It's just very, very, at the end of the day, very disappointing.
Yeah, my con, that I have to say, like, just very, like, underwhelming, like, the build-up and stuff. And, like, I think a lot of it, like, has to do with, like, night 1, like, think about it, like, the Hall of Fame, you had SmackDown, then you had the Hall of Fame, and then literally you had NXT early in the morning, so half of those fans are already exhausted night 1 of WrestleMania, so that also doesn't help with, like, the entire card and stuff. Plus, you're missing, like, some stipulation matches in there that could have added a little bit more value to it. Like, I think the TLC match would have been perfect for night 1.
Bring back Money in the Bank.
It's crazy. We thought night.
Mania.
But what I find crazy is like even Money in the Bank would be huge. But like it's crazy that we thought night 1 was gonna cook, and then like night 2 did better than night 1.
Oh yeah,
that's what I was thinking. Like I think I even said this going back to as
I
far
think we
back
all
as
were
to,
saying
like,
night 1 was gonna be
to,
better
like-
than night 2.
No, but like I think I said this even as far back as WrestleMania 39. I was like, they need to get rid of the TLC or the Money in the Bank PLE and just put that match on WrestleMania because it
I
makes
think
sense.
we've all been saying that.
You know
Yeah.
what? It makes sense. You know,
everybody
you don't
came
need
out a winner. You got
you
the
don't
fucking
need-
present and the future in that same show.
Plus, we have night 1, night 2. You can have one Money in the Bank, one match, one night, and then the other night. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need a whole PLE for it, but
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. All right. Well, is there anything else you guys want to add or say about WrestleMania 41? Or are we ready to close that?
I'm ready to fucking forget it. Let's go.
I want to close this. I want to close this chapter, and I want to head.
And I want to burn the fucking book.
I want to head towards WrestleMania 42, and hopefully that's going to be a banger.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it is time to officially close that book, and let's get into a couple TV recaps from Raw after Mania. And we have to talk about this, of course, on Monday Night Raw. John Cena called out the whole locker room and got hit with an RKO. What's your thoughts on Randy Orton being John Cena's first opponent for the championship?
Finally, we're fucking putting our foot on the gas, man. We're going down memory lane, dude. Oh my god, one of the best rivalries in wrestling history was John Cena and Randy Orton, man. Get the fuck out of here. And to be able to rehash that history, seeing the experience between them both with, Cena's fucking acting abilities, with Orton's callous in the ring and his fucking mic abilities now, dude. The fact that he's so goddamn unhinged, bro. Like, this is where we've seen this before. We're seeing a very different chapter in the feuds and rivalries of John Cena. I think that they're both going to be completely different than they were. Like, the way that Cena handled Cody Rhodes is not going to be the same approach for Randy Orton, because Randy Orton ain't going to buy any of that shit, dude. Randy Orton is just... I'm excited. That's all I'm going to say. Danny, what's your thoughts?
I'm really excited. I marked out when Randy came out and gave Cena the RKO. You know, it's going to be another chapter to the whole legacy and the whole lore that is John Cena and Randy Orton. Because you have to remember, like, especially a lot of the kids, because that's, the primary target that WWE tries to hit audience-wise. A lot of them, when Randy Orton and Cena were really going back and forth, a lot of them weren't alive, or they were very small. They don't really remember.
And Orton was the heel.
Exactly.
Now Cena's the fucking heel.
Now roles are reversed.
Roles are reversed.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, Alex Johnson makes a good point.
Back in the day, Randy Orton was a very hard individual to get along with. You know,
even
what I mean?
outside the
But
ring. Yep.
Over the last 12 years, whatever, he's definitely changed his life. He's totally different than how he once was. Now
He's a dad now. He's got kids.
Now Cena.
Well, he did have a kid, but when he was doing all this crazy shit.
He's got experience
But
in a fucking Spanish wife now.
But now Cena is,
a super fan of him.
the bad guy on TV or whatever, and Cena and Orton's a good guy. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. I kind of knew this direction that they were going to going, because Backlash is in St. Louis, Orton's hometown. They wanted him to have, be in a big spot, whatever.
He was the poster child too.
Exactly. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. They better not fumble this fucking, like, this
Bro.
is such a easy story to tell because there's so much history there.
I'm gonna say this right now. Rev Theory needs to fucking perform for Orton's entrance like they did at WrestleMania one of those years, because that was one of the best fucking performances of somebody's song, period, because the
That
fucking
would be
lead singer
sick for
killed
Backlash.
that shit.
That
would be fucking sick. And hometown, come on, man. Let's go.
Are they even still active?
Rev Theory? Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't heard any music from them in years.
Didn't they
Because
do like a remastered of Randy's theme a couple years ago?
Yes.
When he came back?
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
that's why there's a lot of speculation on him coming back.
Yeah.
That's true.
So my thoughts on Randy and John Cena. I'm very excited about this. Like I said before, I think John Cena's heel run, now that like The Rock is completely out of the picture, I think now John Cena's going to start actually cooking as a heel. I do think that the countdown thing, I really like that, because like he is trying to like let the fans know, like, this is how many more days until like pro wrestling is ruined. I kind of like the approach that John Cena's taking as a heel. I just don't like the whole soul thing, which I know I'll talk about later on in the show. But But I'm very, very excited to see Randy as a babyface, John Cena as a heel, and see what they do, because you already know they're going to go back into time. We're going to get some really awesome segments within the next couple weeks. And I think that this is going to be a lot better build than Cena versus Cody.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
But we're just going to have to wait and see what happens there. But I thought it was a great way to rehash the feud.
They need to turn loose. They need to turn Cena loose on the mic. Unfortunately,
especially
this is WWE. We're not talking about, not AEW.
One thing I want to add too, like especially with John Cena telling the fans like, "Oh, you're gonna want to get your phones out for this," and like Randy, like that was perfect. That right there, like you could tell, like he's put the work into the ring, the miles, because that's just something that like a lot of people don't understand in the business. Like 100%. Little things like that make a huge difference. But moving on now to our last TV recap. On this past Raw episode, Rusev made his WWE return and attacked Alpha Academy. What's your thoughts on the return?
Man, he got a pretty fucking big pop. I'm going to say, like, he got a really big pop. People were feeling it. Obviously, Otis and, obviously Alpha Academy, they're very much a goof gimmick. But seeing him get the pops attacking Otis, and seeing, like, how well versed he is in the ring still, because it's been a while since he's been on TV. Like it's been 2023 since he was actively on TV doing matches and shit like that. Once he was on AEW, that was like the last time he really showed up.
The last time I saw him on TV was he was in a match against Andrade.
Yeah, so that shows how long it's been.
Yeah, that was AEW World's End. I was there for his last match. Him and Andrade's last match with AEW.
Yeah. So honestly, man, I will say that I'm excited for this chapter of Rusev. Like even like his little promo after he got done with his match was pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty good. I will say that I'm excited for his future, and I'm more humble to be proved wrong, man. I love being wrong.
What about you, Danny? What's your thoughts on this?
Before I get into Rusev, I do want to talk about something that happened in the same segment. I do want to put somebody over, somebody that I don't feel like gets a lot of recognition, somebody that I don't feel like people talk about in a positive way very often. Maxine Dupree.
Oh, bro, she killed it in this role.
She killed it on the mic, man. She can speak.
Mm-hmm.
They need to start utilizing her. So I did want to put her over because I think she did a phenomenal job. As far as Rusev, I'm happy.
Danny, I'm proud of you.
As far as Rusev, I'm happy he's back. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does. I hope this doesn't sort of mean that he's going to be like sort of like the bodyguard for New Day or whatever, because he went after Alpha Academy and the New Day just fucking walked away.
I don't
think so, man. I think this was just
he was going to kill the New Day, but they ran out of the ring.
Yeah, he was going to kill everybody in that ring, bro.
Yeah. I'm very mixed on his music. One thing I don't
he got like Def Rebel. I'm pissed about it,
bro. Like Def Rebel, there's no life to their music. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm not crazy about his music. I like his graphic on the entrance or whatever. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does. And I heard that CJ Perry signed a Legends deal. Maybe she comes in.
I don't know. She was legendary other than taking fucking nonstop. Never mind. Other than the only thing legendary about her career was taking nonstop Samoan drops to a table by Nia Jax. That's it.
Yeah, and that iconic line from Nia, "My hole."
That shit was so fucking funny.
During a shitty time watching WWE. But I will say this. I'm very happy for Rusev coming back to WWE. I actually really like his new look. He looks like he's easily in the best shape of his career. I don't like that he got Def Rebeled. And I am going to have to give it some weeks because I do feel like it would have been even bigger if he showed up at WrestleMania and faced Randy Orton. But I can understand they wanted Orton to win his 20th WrestleMania. So I can understand like that reasoning why they probably didn't do it. But I will say Rusev coming back, very happy for him. And I really hope that this time around he doesn't get lost in the shuffle because he's somebody that he knows how to get over with the crowd. He had a very solid run as United States champion the first time around, where they're really protecting him. Came out in the tank at WrestleMania 31 against John Cena. Like, I really hope that they protect him. And it does seem like from that promo after him attacking Alpha Academy that he is going to be doing the whole Redeemer thing, except This time it's going to be under Rusev in WWE. So I am excited to see like where that goes, which is why I don't think he's going to align himself with the New Day.
I wish he was Miro, but I definitely understand. Rusev has name value in WWE. It's a separate entity away from AEW, so I definitely understand. I mean, we shouldn't. I'm not gonna judge it because he literally
Judging
just
the fuck away.
debuted.
Just kidding.
But I'm gonna give it a month. If nothing happens, I'm gonna fucking roast the fuck out of this whole thing.
Well, also too, I do want to add, according to Deadline, he has signed a 2-year deal with WWE.
Ow. Aren't the contracts usually 5-year deals?
Usually it is, but he locked in 2-year deal, and bigger sources have confirmed it.
He's probably learned from AEW. He's like, I'm not signed for 5 years because if you guys don't use me, I'm fucking out.
Dude, he was trying to get out of that contract like a month after he signed it, so... Yeah, he's probably doesn't trust WWE right now, and that's why he signed a short term. But man, like I said, if you want to become a star in WWE, you might as well go to AEW first. Because all right, I'll stop before Ben gets mad. All right, so with that being said, guys, let's get into the We Are Wrestling weekly news and rumors. And I think that this is going to kind of upset Ben. Starting things off here, WWE NXT has announced that Battleground will be taking place on Sunday, May 25th, going head-to-head with AEW Double or Nothing. What's your thoughts on WWE continuing to book the same dates as AEW?
I'm going to let you boys take this one because this one 100% does not pertain to me because I'm going to be doing something else that night. I'm going to be in Hartford, Connecticut, backstage at a rock show making content. So I'm not gonna be thinking about wrestling May 25th. So you guys talk amongst yourselves.
All right, Danny, you ready to talk about this?
LOL, Danny knows it. I don't know what that means. Anyway, I don't know why, and this is why people say there's tribalism within WWE. Not like in AEW or whatever. I will say, as a content creator, I feel like the smart thing to do would be to watch and cover AEW because it's the bigger show. But I know there's going to be a lot of AEW fans that like WWE and NXT better that are going to end up watching the NXT show. I don't really have many thoughts on it. Just it's making the fans divided. Because you may like NXT and AEW. What show are you going to choose? You know what I mean? You're going to watch a show, technically for free on Peacock, or are you going to spend, $50 and watch AEW or whatever? It's going to be a lot of fans that choose NXT just for the sole fact that, a lot of people don't have $50 to spend on a wrestling show.
So. Man, I am so sick and tired of WWE continuing to do the same thing over and over again, pretty much trying to have people boycott AEW. And I do feel like eventually this is going to catch on and it's going to bite them in the ass. This is why I wanted to talk about it on the weekly news and rumors, because I don't think a lot of other wrestling podcasters or content creators are really covering this or talking about this, because WWE, when AEW made the announcement for AEW All In Arlington, Texas, their WrestleMania, their biggest event of the year, they announced it for July 12th. Then immediately, a couple of weeks later, WWE announces Saturday Night Main Event. So then Tony, because one thing I'm noticing here with Tony Khan is he's kind of staying out of the drama. He's trying not to talk about WWE. He's trying to focus on his product, AEW, which I will say he definitely should have been doing this whole time. Sucks that he had to learn the hard way, but I don't like that WWE is doing this. In AEW, they even moved All In to the afternoon because they don't want to compete against WWE with Saturday Night Main Event, which is fair. I don't like that they're throwing Battleground going against Double or Nothing. I get the fans, they get the option to choose what they want to watch, But you can't tell me that WWE is not being petty here. You can't tell me. And I think that it's not Triple H's fault. It's not any of the wrestlers' fault. It's easily TKO's fault. TKO wants people not to watch AEW. That's why they're throwing NXT Battleground same night, same time as Double or Nothing.
So they really moved AW All into the afternoon. Somebody in my stream, like last week or something, told me that, and I was like, no, that was when they were in the UK. So they're really going to be in the afternoon again.
Wait, with what? All In?
Yeah.
Yep. So All In and Arlington, it is going to be afternoon. Because they decided that they don't want to compete against Saturday Night Main Event, which you already know, if it is on same time as Saturday Night Main Event, people are obviously going to choose Saturday Night Main Event that's on television for free than paying the pay-per-view.
But the thing is with WWE and the Saturday Night's Main Event, like I've seen 2 of them so far, and like after the first one, it's becoming less and less special. Like it's just another ordinary show. You know what I mean? There's nothing really special about them. You got to sit through fucking commercials. You know, it's the same matches that you see on Raw or SmackDown. There's nothing that really big happens besides Jesse Ventura and Lillian Garcia now being on commentary and ring announcing. So like, I don't understand why WWE thinks that Saturday Night's Main Event is such a big deal when they're making it to be just like a third show that happens every couple of months.
Saturday Night Main Event is a glorified house show.
That's
Joey said the same thing at the same time as Angelo. But I don't know, man. I just feel like it's just petty, and I don't know why like WWE is like trying to compete now with AEW, because it feels like WWE is doing what AEW was doing for like the time being. Like now even friggin' Tony Khan lives in the NXT fans friggin' head rent free because they're chanting Tony fumbled, which I think is a funny chant. But like the fact that Tony Khan is getting a chant on WWE programming, that kind of tells you that AEW is starting to get a little better with their television product. Because they wouldn't be talking about AEW if that was the case.
I will say he kind of.
Oh, he did fumble. Oh, he fucking. They're not lying at all. But I'm just saying, like WWE, like during Mania Week when they should have been focusing on their biggest show of the year, they were talking about AEW. Everybody in every interview was mentioning AEW. They didn't say the name, but you knew what they were talking about.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like sooner or later it's gonna bite WWE in the ass, because it did bite AEW in the ass for a little while.
Yeah.
But
by the way, guys, man, we have 14 people in here, man. Make sure you guys smash the like button. Appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. That's a good plug right there. But we are just gonna have to wait and see what happens. I do hope that like this isn't a reoccurring thing that's gonna happen over and over again. But here's what but if you are, struggling to decide what you want to watch, AEW Double or Nothing or Battleground, AEW, one thing that I can tell you that they don't fuck up is pay-per-views. And I think that you're definitely going to get your money's worth out of that than NXT Battleground. But everybody's got their preferences, so if you want to watch Battleground, you can do that. You can rewatch, whatever you want to do. That's what makes pro wrestling fun.
It just sucks when you're a content creator and you cover both companies, because now you got to pick or choose. Like I usually do like go live for like the PLEs or whatever, and now I gotta, now I'm gonna be obviously doing AEW, but like, it just I hate choosing. My guy's over here watching TV.
Yeah, he's chilling, man. Which I will say my last piece about this, and then we can move on to more WWE news and stuff. The last thing I'm gonna say about all of this is, when NXT, like when this all started, because I remember AEW, when they first started off, it got announced that Wednesday Night Dynamite was going to be on TNT every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then a couple months later, Vince McMahon decided, let's move NXT from Tuesday nights to Wednesdays to compete against AEW. I get the whole war thing is good for the ratings, this and that. But when I continue to see them doing a reoccurring thing, trying to have people not watch the competition, which obviously as a business, like from a business perspective, it is a smart move that WWE is doing. it makes me as a viewer not want to watch it. And that's exactly what happened when NXT went head to head with AEW. I kind of stopped watching Black and Gold NXT at that point. And now, like, I really want to get back into NXT, but when they do shit like this, going against AEW in a pay-per-view, why am I going to watch NXT? I'd rather watch AEW. Because NXT, they're the ones that are trying to get people to not watch AEW. But that's all I got to say about that. All right, well, moving on now to some WWE stuff. Welcome back, Ben.
What's up? my guy's just fucking chilling, bro.
I was watching Walking Dead while you guys were just talking.
He's living his best life.
Yeah,
well,
dude.
Moving on. There's been lots of questions regarding Bayley's WWE contract status. During an interview with Chris Van Vliet, she stated that she's only got a year and a half left. And this is what she said. I have so many other things I want to, make it into. Yeah, I have like a year and a half left on this current contract. So we'll see what happens. Then and then what? Man, I don't know. There are fans who are upset that Becky Lynch replaced her in the tag team match at WrestleMania 41. According to PW Insider, Bayley is not injured. The angle has been the creative plans for several weeks. There have been some sympathy among talent for Bayley this weekend when words began to spread that she was being pulled from the match as she universally respected in the locker room. What are your guys' thoughts on Bayley being pulled from WrestleMania, and what do you see happening a year and a half from now?
So I'm just gonna keep mine short and brief because it's been said quite a bit, time and time again on the channel. I think I can speak for all of us here when I say, it's time. Bayley's outgrown WWE. WWE has outgrown Bayley. It's time for a separation. I think that this was always the plan. She was going to finish up what she had left on her contract. I don't think she has any intentions on signing a new one. And let's be honest, man, she misses her best friend. And I'm sure that there's been talks between her and Mercedes. I'm sure that there's been interest on Bayley's side on, when it comes to what's next in terms of her wrestling career, what she wants to do, what she's trying to achieve, since she's achieved basically almost everything that there is that WWE has to offer. She's a 4-horsewoman, but in terms of WWE, there is not much left she can do with the time that she has to play with. I don't see them slapping a US title on her. I don't see her getting slapped with the fucking IC title anytime soon. I think that she just needs to have some banger matches on the way out and enjoy the rest of her career and then maybe revisit one day. But that's all I have.
Before you give your thoughts, Danny, on this, I do want to add one thing. I love that Mercedes and Bayley, who are both working for different companies, they're still out there supporting each other. Bayley's there for Mercedes, special moments, and Mercedes is there for Bayley's special moments. And I really feel like we need more of that in the pro wrestling community.
Exactly.
See, I don't even think that's a thing. I feel like you're just allowed to go support your friend regardless, man.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say. They're not afraid to pretty much expose the whole tribalism thing, because a lot of fans, they want to make this whole thing a war, when reality, there's friends from different companies that are there supporting each other. And I like that both Bayley and Mercedes, they're very outspoken about that.
Well, if you want to go see your friend and support your friend, go see your friend, support your friend. I'm not adding tribalism into anything. I'm not even acknowledging it, bro. I'm not even acknowledging it. I get it. But yeah, I think it's just time. I think it's a time. It's the same thing with Edge, man. There comes a time where you both kind of just know that, the romance is over and it's time to move on. I think that there's other landscapes to, kind of explore. And I think it's just Bayley's time now.
So what about you, Danny? What's your thoughts on all of this with Bayley?
First of all, love the Chris Van Vliet interviews. That dude is legitimately the fucking GOAT, and every single interview just seems to be better and better and better. And you can definitely tell when he's doing the interview. It's not like he's trying to get any dirt. He's not trying to get a headline or whatever. He's talking to these people they're most people don't. You see him on TV, oh my god, they're massive stars. You know what I mean? Chris talks to him they're fucking next door neighbors or whatever. I love that about his interviews. And like they were saying in the chat, Bayley did feel like she seemed kind of defeated in that interview. Like, if I do say so, like, for somebody at the caliber she is, even she doesn't think like, yeah, like, I came into WWE before Charlotte and Becky, but I'm not even close to being on the same level as them. Like, just the humbleness, you know what I mean? I like that first and foremost. As far as what's next for Bayley after WWE, I'm not sure. She might stay, she might leave. I could see her going to AEW, but as a fan, I don't want her to be in AEW because I know they won't utilize her any better than what she's being utilized now. And I mean, that's just the facts about it. How many people does Tony Khan sign that just don't do nothing? Like, but here's
the thing, though, when it comes to the women wrestlers, for the most part, like, look out, like, okay, Camilla, that's like one example, or Camille
Baker.
Oh, Britt Baker, she's been there since day one. I'm talking about the new signings, like Mariah May. They protected her. She did really well. Mercedes Moné, she's doing great.
And then she said that she wanted to go to WWE.
Megan Bain,
Tony Khan
protecting.
Tony Khan has been keeping her off TV,
which is a good thing, because you don't want, if she outright said, like, I'm going to WWE, why are you going to give her the TV time? Like,
well, I mean, people could say the same thing about the whole Ricky Sainz situation.
But that's the thing, like, what I'm trying to say, like, overall, though, hold on one second. So, like, what I'm trying to say, like, overall, though, I do think that, when it is, like, all said and done, like, I think that, like, Bayley going to AEW is the right move. I think that, there's a lot of great matches that could be lined up for her, and, like, the way that they protected Mercedes Moné, like, I do feel like, in a sense, like, Bayley's not going to get lost in the shuffle there. Like Ben was saying earlier, like, she just needs, like, a new scenery. Like, she needs, like, something new. And I think her going to AEW would be a great move. I could also see TNA throwing in a lot of money and stuff as well.
Ben said his PC just shut off, so
yep, I just got that. I was wondering what happened. I thought that we kind of triggered him talking about his woman. He was getting a little jealous with Mercedes.
I mean, when you do live podcasts, man, technical issues happen. There's nothing you can do about it. You just gotta strive for the best.
But getting into this, I think Bayley has done everything she could in WWE easily. She does have a Hall of Fame worthy career, and out of all the four horsewomen, like, it just seems like from this interview, like, my perception on her has changed a lot. Because, yes, I haven't liked the creative direction with her, but, like, I'm not ever going to deny that she's not talented, because she's super talented. I was a big fan of her when she was doing the hugger gimmick.
Yeah.
And I do think overall, though, she just has done everything, and it doesn't hurt to change some scenery.
And I kind of like what she said. She said in the interview, and oh, look who's back. She said in the interview, I do what I'm told. I'm not one to politic. I'm not one to, complain if I'm not, the center of attention. Like, I go there, I do what I'm told. And, I learned that from Cena, and I learned that from Orton and all these other people, whatever. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do.
And I love that. And I feel like she is handling herself right now like a true professional.
Exactly. But I do feel like she deserves to be so much higher than she is. You know what I mean?
Shit, bro. Same. Cheers.
But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what happens with Bayley, because she does have a year and a half left. Things could change within that time period. But I do feel like we are kind of leaning more towards, like, she is going to go out, test free agency. I'm not going to be surprised if TNA offers her big money, because we have seen Trinity. She went over there and was able to reinvent herself. Stardom, like, they're very popular with their women's division. And AEW is also a possibility, because maybe they'll throw her big money and we'll get a Bayley versus Mercedes Moné match.
I do know that in the interview, she did say that in the original concept for Damage Control, she wanted Tony Storm to be in it. So I mean, I could see like a Tony Storm and Bayley's situation going on. So
I just think about all the dream matches too. Like one of the matches, like I'm not even thinking about Mercedes and Bayley. I would love to see Bayley versus Chris Statlander. Like I would love that match.
I would hate to somebody, especially her. Like I would hate for her to go there and then Tony Khan not utilize her right. You know what I mean? That nobody
hear
should
you.
be like that.
But the thing is, every talent is different, and especially with the way Bayley handles herself, I think she'll do fine wherever she goes. But only time will tell. So now moving on to our next We Are Wrestling weekly news and rumors. There were wrestlers and legends during WrestleMania weekend at the Hall of Fame falling asleep. And it was even said that Shawn Michaels only got 58 minutes of sleep. So when it comes to WrestleMania weekend, should WWE do something about the schedule?
They should do the Hall of Fame on Thursday nights. That way you can do SmackDown and then you can immediately go to
especially when your fucking legends are over the age of fucking 60. Yeah, they're gonna start fucking falling asleep within the first hour, dog. Anybody over the age of 40 is gonna start falling asleep. Even Jey Uso understood the assignment, wore fucking shades, so he wouldn't get fucking yelled at or
and
caught
Solo.
slipping. And Solo. So I'm like, dude, you have to know, but no, it's a schedule thing, yes. But you also need to bring this fucker down, dude. You need to. I don't care if you're the fucking headliner. I don't give a shit if you're the fucking president, dude. Nobody needs an hour and a half fucking speech, bro. Not Triple H, not fucking anybody. Nobody, dog. That shit is just get to the fucking point. Thank your people. Talk about your accolades for maybe 5 minutes. Give it maybe like a 20-minute speech. That's it. Get the fuck out of there, bro. That's it.
After the Hall of Fame, I looked at my clock before I lay down to go to sleep. And
wait, did you do a live watch along, Danny, to the Hall of Fame?
I did not because it was gonna.
Okay, I was gonna say
it happened like an hour and a half, 2 hours after SmackDown.
I was gonna call you a psychopath.
But I looked at I did watch all of it, and I did look at the clock when I went to lay down, and my head did not hit the pillow until almost 5 o'clock in the morning.
Wow. Yeah, I rewatched it during the weekend, but it was very, very long. And I do feel like they really do got to figure out a way to kind of like, I don't think having the Hall of Fame right like after SmackDown is the right call. I think Thursday, like you said, would be a better move.
Or you can do Thursday, 5 o'clock p.m. You know, it'll be over by the time fucking TNA comes on or whatever. Like, you know, because obviously they're with their partnership, they're not going to want to go up against TNA or whatever. But I mean, there's a lot.
Yes, Triple H did kiss Shawn. He kissed him right on the mouth.
Yeah, love that. But like, there's
Stephanie
a lot.
Was jealous.
There's a lot they can do. You know what I mean?
I wonder if that clip would get us to 10,000 followers on Facebook. Thank you guys for 8,000 followers on the We Are Wrestling Facebook page. Where if you guys want to get clips and like daily news and all that fun stuff, you can go follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, all that cool stuff. But moving on now to a topic that everybody's talking about here and probably should have been the main event of this week's episode. Recently on the Pat McAfee show, The Rock exposed the WWE. And here were some of the highlights that were said during the Pat McAfee show. TKO CEO Ariel called him for help because ticket sales for Elimination Chamber were slow and wanted something must-see. He came up with the whole sell your soul idea to Cody. Then Triple H suggested John Cena. The Rock also said he loved the finish of the WrestleMania match. He would have finessed things a little differently on how they got there, but that's just me creatively. There's lots of minds in the room. And The Rock didn't want the spotlight on him. He wanted it on John Cena's number 17. So what's your guys' thoughts on all of this with The Rock on the Pat McAfee show?
There's some things that you just don't fucking say, and there's just some fucking things that you don't pull the curtain back on, and this was 1,000% one of them. So dude, that's like a slap in the face of the fans. So it's like, so what you're saying is you care more about ticket sales than you do about the storylines and like the fans' perspective. So this was never about the fans the whole time. It was all about the money.
Are you talking about the TKO CEO or The Rock?
Whoever the fuck did it. Whoever the fuck did it, dude. The push ticket sales
pretty
for
much
fucking Elimination
Ariel,
Chamber.
because so you're pretty much saying Ariel because he was the one that told The Rock, "We need you at Elimination Chamber. We are not getting enough ticket sales."
Yes, and then creating a whole bullshit ass storyline and an angle of one that doesn't even exist anymore and like doesn't even matter. Dude was in fucking Hawaii chilling when WrestleMania was going on. I'm like, you made this whole spectacle for nothing just to fucking push ticket sales for Elimination Chamber. Like, I don't know, man. That is some fucking horse shit.
I will say I kind of wish he would have went online or did something, made a quick video, hyping up WrestleMania, but showing that he's not there. That way people didn't get their hopes up. I kind of wish that.
Or he should have just never did the whole thing with John Cena at Elimination Chamber.
That was already Emmanuel's call. He wanted him to do that, and they're best friends.
And now I'm getting a little nervous here because I feel like we got another TK on our hands. Yeah. Which I hope is not the case at all. Because like, how are you like coming up with this whole selling the soul thing, and then like you don't have like a plan like to finish it? This is something that Tony Khan would do.
And it's kind of really unfair to Triple H because everybody was blaming him for it. And he pretty much, outed without saying it directly that it wasn't Triple H's call. So everybody bad mouthing Triple H over the weekend, like.
And I do want to take a second to apologize to Triple H because now, like after listening to this entire interview on the Pat McAfee show, it does seem like Ariel is really starting to take control of what WWE is doing with the final call, similar to what Vince was doing before he got taken down by WWE.
He had no choice. Triple H does not own WWE. He does what Ariel wants him to do.
And everything and that's the thing, Joey, too. Everything has to get approved by Ariel, who is the CEO at the end of the day. So like Triple H could throw him 1,000 ideas. It has to go through him.
Mm-hmm.
Triple H is not the boss. He is just head of creative.
Yep.
But I will say I'm actually really pissed off about this entire Pat McAfee interview with The Rock. Like, the dude can take 40 minutes to sit here and talk with Pat McAfee, but then he couldn't make a 2-minute appearance at WrestleMania. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, I understand him like not wanting to like take John Cena spotlight. Well, if you didn't want to take a spotlight, why do the whole selling the soul thing? Like, what you should have done, what you should have done was, like we said earlier, have John Cena and Cody Rhodes build this up as a dream match, because Cody Rhodes has done everything as WWE champion for a whole year. But John Cena really wants to get number 17. They could have really built like this once-in-a-lifetime match like they did with The Rock and Hollywood Hogan, like they did with The Rock and Cena years ago. They could have done the same thing with Rock and Cody, and then you could have had John Cena take the cheap way out, and you could have had him turn heel, and nobody would be pissed off about it, because we all friggin' were expecting The Rock to help Cena. Because what did The Rock say? He wanted Cody to be his champion. John Cena, that's what I got from it when he turned on Cody. Now he is The Rock's champion. So The Rock made this about himself. And maybe Elimination Chamber would have actually sold out if TKO weren't friggin' charging friggin' a whole, like, it costs like a whole house to be front row. Like, you could friggin' you could get a house. Like, man, it's crazy.
And then The Rock being like, I have other commitments that I need to commit to. Well, like, this was a massive commitment that you should have known you should have known people were going to be upset,
now, like, it just all like makes sense, like why like all this is happening. Because I remember I was being very critical about him showing up at Bad Blood and then nothing happened. Him showing up on the Raw, like on Netflix premiere. Him pretty much just being the normal Rock.
Yep.
Wearing his Final Boss stuff.
Dave LaGreca had probably the best response to this entire thing. That dude went fucking nuclear.
And I'm going to be going nuclear because I will be doing a whole episode of hot takes probably either tomorrow or Friday about the Rock's thing because I do want to show receipts. I want to show like what other people thought about it as well. Because let me tell you, I am not happy at all about any of this whatsoever. And The Rock at this point, he needs to stay away because I think that he is harming WWE more than anything.
Definitely agree.
But moving on now to, we do have a couple more news topics that are pretty quick, so we'll try to fly through these. Moving on, the WWE Universal Champion is now officially listed as a retired championship on WWE's website, with Roman Reigns being recognized as the final champion. Cody Rhodes was listed as the last champion until his recent loss. The WWE Championship remains active and still is listed separately. What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, it's the last. Roman was the last champion because Roman was the one that changed the Universal Championship and the WWE Championship into one thing. So yeah, technically the Universal Championship died a couple of years ago. So, or a year ago when he got the new black and gold. So yeah, it makes sense.
Ben's like common sense.
Yeah, that it makes sense.
Something that we don't have in the IWC. What's your thoughts, Daddy?
I was never a fan of the Universal title, so I'm kind of glad that it got retired or whatever. I don't know. There's just something bad luck with that title, bro. I don't know what it is. Like everything from the Fiend to Finn Balor winning it,
Pandemic,
getting injured, and then having to fucking relinquish it. There was just something bad about that title that I can't pinpoint, but there was definitely some stuff going on with it, some witchcraft or something.
Yeah. I can't believe I didn't notice that. Like when Roman changed the title, because like what Ben said, it is common sense, and I kind of feel stupid now. But rest in peace to the Universal Champion.
Good riddance to get the fuck out.
Well, I will say one thing I did. The only thing I really did like about that title was Kevin Owens' title run until Goldberg squashed him. That was about it. But rest in peace to the Universal title.
Bro, it is such a fucking crime, the fact that that's the only title win or whatever that Kevin Owens has ever had, like, world title wise.
Yeah. Well, moving on now to some more news here. WWE has announced a new documentary series that will be exclusive to Netflix called WWE Unreal. What's your thoughts on the new series with the trailer and everything?
I think it's dope. Sometimes pulling back the curtain and seeing like the production of things is dope as fuck. Like that's what it's left for. Like that's what it's made for. Seeing the ins and outs on how a production runs is super important, and especially something that's the spectacle of WWE, where you have these larger than life characters, and you want to know how they get into that mindset. You want to see how matches are formed. You want to see the building processes of the stage, and like whoa shit, we could have called Cody fucking floating out of that bitch, like something like that. We get to see the thing, the curtain pulled back nowadays, because everybody knows we might as well show them how the magic's made. It's time. It's 2025. We can't keep things a secret forever. So it's kind of cool seeing how history is made and like how they used to do it, how compared to now. Seeing what superstars are like back, behind the screens, and seeing how they get along in real life comparatively to the characters, and seeing just how well of a job they're doing, because you can never tell sometimes. So it's interesting.
What's your thoughts on this, Danny?
I'm really excited for it. Sometimes like I've always been like a movie fan or whatever. Like I get that from my grandmother, and like, but sometimes like I'll pop in like a Blu-ray or something, and I'll watch the making of that movie instead of watching the actual movie. Like I just love seeing how things are done. And like in 2025, like everybody knows that pro wrestling is scripted. You know what I mean? Like you have pretty much every single person that's been in pro wrestling has a podcast now. They talk about it. They talk about the inner workings of stuff, whatever. So it's not like it, kayfabe is somewhat still alive to an extent. But, it's not like people are like, oh my God, Undertaker's really dead. Like, that's awesome. You know what I mean? So I like it. And I think it's going to give people a better look on the inner workings of it. So people can see like we see a small piece, but, we don't really know like, what really goes into like putting together a show. All the stress that these people must be in, especially like WrestleMania weekend, like think of all the different events during WrestleMania weekend that WWE has to put on. All the productions and all the this and that, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, fucking WrestleMania itself, WWE World, the Hall of Fame ceremony, like all this stuff. Like, we're going to be able to get an inside look at that. And hopefully it'll be able to give us a different perspective, and it'll give us some fun shit to watch and talk about.
So my thoughts on this, I'm very mixed because like the fan in me, I actually love this because like we're going to get to see like the inside look at everything. And I'm a sucker when it comes to documentaries and like reality and stuff. Like I really enjoy that stuff. So like the fan in me, very excited about this, but now like looking at it from the other side of it, trying to like understand like the perception of like other people that actually don't think that this is a good idea, I can kind of understand where like some of the people in the IWC are coming from, because one thing that this trailer proved to a lot of people is the Dave Meltzers and the Sean Ross Sapps and these reporters are not wrong when it comes to a lot of the things that they're talking about. In that writer's room, there was not one woman in there, which I think a lot of people are going to be upset with. And like, it kind of scares me that like this series, like it's cool that we're going to be getting an inside look at the way things are operated. But I also do believe that like it might, like WWE might be getting some heat with some of the stuff that they're probably going to show. Like the board is already being shown like what WrestleMania was supposed to be, which is cool, but like, I don't know.
They're not going to show us anything that they don't want or that's not already out there. You know what I mean? So it's not like they have like a fucking spy security camera and it's just like a 24-hour surveillance on everything that's like all the inner workings of WWE and headquarters and stuff like that. So they're not going to put out anything that they don't want us to know or that we don't already know. You know what I mean? And I like the fact that like it's not going to spoil us, because it seems like they were talking in the trailer, they were talking about WrestleMania 40. Well, WrestleMania 40 already happened, so we already know the outcome. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, this Friday they're filming an episode and it's going to come out before SmackDown, so we see what's going to be on the exact card. You know what I mean? So there's going to be still that level of excitement, not really knowing what's going to happen. But I'm excited, man. I'm really excited about this. I like reality shows to an extent. And I like seeing how shit's made. And, it'll give me a different perspective, and maybe it'll give us a different understanding and a different outlook on what WWE is.
Yeah, and also Joey here makes a good point. By the way, Dave Meltzer predicted that The Rock won't show up at WrestleMania 41.
And The Rock was like, fuck you.
Yeah, the Rock pretty much said, oh, don't listen to the bullshit online yet. Like, the people that were calling The Rock out, like, they weren't wrong.
Are we still talking about The Rock?
Well, no, we're talking about WWE Unreal. But the last thing I will say about all this, like, as a fan, very, very excited about this. And, like, I can't wait to see, like, all the secrets and, like, stuff that, like, we're going to be looking back at. And, yeah, I think all these reporters, Sean, Denise, Dave Meltzer, they're
Mike
all
Johnson,
going to be getting their flowers from people, because everything that they're reporting that we call bullshit out on, we're going to see in this documentary. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. And finally, the last We Are Wrestling weekly news and rumors topic. WWE announced during WrestleMania weekend that they have acquired AAA. What are your guys' thoughts about this partnership?
I thought we just talked about this at some point. AAA?
I think we talked about it during the live watch along.
Yeah. It's good. We're shining light again back on luchadors, something that's been kind of missing heavily in WWE storylines and their product, and like in the last couple of years, we've seen them make a more prominent, return to our television screens. And we even had, a storyline based around it this WrestleMania season. I think it's a good move. It gives a lot of these guys that deserve to be in the spotlight, a chance to shine and really thrive in their profession, which is always a good thing. But yeah, it's a cool history maker.
What are your thoughts, Danny, on this?
No, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm the biggest, AAA fan or whatever. I've actually never watched a AAA show in my life.
Me either.
But as a wrestling fan, I respect what luchador is. I respect the legacy of it. There are some luchadors that I really fuck with in AEW and WWE. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. Now is this gonna be like, Triple H said that he's gonna keep traditional luchadors alive, or lucha alive, or whatever, lucha libre. I don't quite know what that means. Is it still gonna be like Triple H, to where it's like primarily like a Mexico thing or whatever, but WWE's backing it and they're gonna be promoting the shows? Like, we're still very vague on what he means by that. But I mean, it's cool, to see WWE get in bed with all these different other promotions and, really see some value in it. I am looking forward to seeing Vikingo. I do think we're gonna, at the AAA show, the World's Glad, I do believe we're gonna be getting Vikingo and El Grande Americano, because of what we saw at WrestleMania when he kicked
that's gonna
Grande
be a
in
good
the
one.
face. So I'm looking forward to. I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm overly excited, because I don't know. I don't watch AAA. I'm not that big of a fan of it. I don't know what it is. One thing that everybody should be talking about when it comes to AAA is the fact that their world champion is Alberto El Patron, who has had a history of fuck ups, I guess you can say. You even had a negative run-in with him at a fan meet and greet.
Yep, Big Time
I mean,
Wrestling 2017.
so, like, I heard Sean Ross Sapp is like looking into seeing if WWE is gonna get rid of him or not. I don't know. So far, I haven't heard anything, to substantiate that.
It's
I'm
not
just
100%
wondering.
confirmed yet, Angelo.
I'm wondering what they're gonna do, because I mean, he's not that liked in WWE, I heard. So
Yeah, so when it does come to this partnership with AAA and WWE, I'm actually a big fan of this. Like, I know WWE is like trying to take over the world. I can kind of understand like that perspective of like them trying to take over every territory, this and that. But I actually think that this is a good move for WWE, because they have signed some of the best luchadors within the last couple of years. And we're starting to see more luchadors on Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown and NXT, and be just consistently on like our television screens. And I think having this working relationship with AAA, I think that we're going to be getting more representation like on American television of what AAA is all about. And I think that these luchadors, like, we're going to get to see them do more stuff in Mexico, like at AAA events and stuff. And I do see it eventually like turning maybe into like an NXT Mexico, because I know that's been like the rumor going around. But I actually really like this a lot. And I think that this is going to be great for all the luchadors that are in WWE, especially the Americano character. Like, I will say, Daddy, that WrestleMania match with him and Rey Fenix, I actually enjoyed it. Like, the whole presentation, everything about it. And my mind has kind of changed, like, now that we're getting like more like into the story with him, like him beating Rey Fenix and stuff. I'm a little bit more interested.
I'm so glad that Rey Fenix had that opportunity, and like both the Lucha brothers, bro. Like 6 months ago, like they were fucking like, locked in a fucking AW prison, and now they're finally let loose, and they were both on WrestleMania this year. Like, how fast things happen in this business is fucking mind blowing to me. And no, Joey's, we do not need Alberto Del Rio anywhere near. Like, I don't even want him to step foot in the state of Connecticut, let alone in WWE.
Keep him far away. But yeah, so we're just gonna have to see what happens with the AAA partnership. But before we get into the getting put over segment, I just want to say, yes, we are all very tired. I do see all you guys in the live chat here. WrestleMania is a very, very long week, and in the wrestling business, unfortunately or fortunately, there is no off season.
Exactly, and like, WrestleMania seasons tends to be, especially if you're a content creator, it's like the biggest weekend of the year, whatever. So there's so much content, like,
And we're
you
kind of coming
know,
off like a very like high, because with
yeah.
Mania, like you just get this excitement and it's just go 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 go. So we are pretty tired. Just to put that out there for you, for you
Bro,
guys in the live chat.
to put into reference, I watched the Hall of Fame on Friday night. I streamed for SmackDown, then I watched the Hall of Fame ceremony. I didn't go to bed until 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. And I had to be up at 8 o'clock, and I was up all day, and I didn't go to bed until after WrestleMania on Saturday. So, like, very tiring weekend.
Oh, absolutely. And you already know the grind is real. That's why you got to subscribe, turn on them post notifications. So now with that being said, let's get into the Getting Put Over segment, where every week, Ben, Danny, and myself, we pick one past, present, or future professional wrestler, and we put them over. 2 weeks ago, because we did do our predictions last week, Ben decided let's put over Stephanie Valkyr. And this week, it was my pick, and we are going to be putting over the hardcore legend himself, Mick Foley, the three faces of Foley. Thought that this would be a fun one to do this week for the podcast. And man, what a career he has had. So the way that we do this, guys, in the live chat, this is your first time being a part of the live episodes of the We Are Wrestling podcast. We ask you guys a couple simple questions, and we're going to go over the accolades. We're going to talk about our favorite title run, favorite match, favorite segment, favorite year, favorite rivalry, and one what if. So if you guys want to be a part of this, just go along with it, because it's a lot of fun. So with Mick Foley, let's go through his accolades here. Mick Foley is a one-time WCW World Tag Team Champion with Kevin Sullivan. He is a two-time ECW Tag Champ with Mikey Whipwreck. Also a one-time WWF World Tag Team Champion with Chainsaw Charlie. A one-time WWF World Tag Team Champion with Stone Cold. A two-time Tag Team Champion with Kane. Three-time Tag Team Champion with The Rock. One time with Al Snow, making him an 8-time WWE World Tag Team Champion. Also, he's a one-time WWF Hardcore Champion, which he became the inaugural champion by Vince McMahon. Also, a 3-time WWF World Champion. A one-time TNA Legends Champ. A one-time TNA World Champion. And he is a part of the WWE 2013 Hall of Fame. So, let's talk about Mick Foley's favorite title run. We'll start off with you, Ben.
WWE Championship, August to November 1998, right after he won it from The Rock. 98 was just his fucking year, man. It really was his year, and it felt like he was a really big player around this time, especially for the moments he had made. That was the same year that we're going to be talking about, in some of my favorite moments, you guys' favorite moments. There was a lot happening. 98 was very much centered around Mick Foley.
Yes, it was. What about you, Danny? What's your favorite title run?
I got to go with his very first title run in WWE. And, that was just such a big moment. And I remember, I don't remember, because I was young when it happened or whatever, but I remember people talking about it. And, WCW announced during commentary that, stay here, Mick Foley is going to win the WWF title. And then I remember people were just saying that, millions of people changed the channel to WWF to watch that moment. You know what I mean? So it sort of backfired on Tony Schiavone and them. It was just such a big moment. And, at that point, he deserved it. I definitely understand, after looking at all of his accolades and how Mick Foley was and is, I definitely understand why people say that Sami Zayn is this generation's Mick Foley in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? Because they're almost the same person. But
I do see the comparisons there.
Shout out to Mick Foley, bro. He's phenomenal. He was never a body guy. He was never the the strongest guy in the room or whatever. But the dude had courage and heart, and I mean that can take you pretty far in the wrestling business. I mean, as we can see.
And that's the thing you can't teach in the business is passion. But my favorite title run of his has got to be the tag team title run with The Rock. I really enjoyed their chemistry, Rock and Sock connection. And I think that we had some of the best segments, best moments. Like I remember them going against I believe Undertaker and Big Show. Like Big Show first was in WWE. Like I really enjoyed those. Because at the time, like, yeah, we had great tag teams, but it was also fun having these like mixed match teams. Something I feel like that's like missing in this generation with like wrestling, period.
See, no, I feel the exact opposite. I feel like we have too many mixed fucking tag teams that don't make sense.
Like, okay, like the ones I'm saying in this generation, like that are mixed, aren't that entertaining. They're not good. Like with the Rock and Mankind, like you actually had a story there that
because they were larger than life.
Fun tag team.
They were two established dudes at that time. You know, they were two top guys that made a fucking great tag team. And yeah, that is something that we are missing.
Like, yeah, just like with character wise, like that's what I'm talking about. Like, yeah, I don't like when like they just randomly say, hey, you, in catering, let's make you a tag team. I don't like that at all. Like, I want there to be like context. Like, I actually want there to be a story behind it.
Gotcha.
But I do get where you're coming from, though, because I do agree. Getting into our favorite match of Mick Foley's. Starting off with you, Ben.
Randy favorite match? Undertaker and Mick Foley on top of Hell in a Cell, man. That is the prolific Mick Foley moment, dude. Like that was actually one of the cooler things about owning Tombstone, the Undertaker series, and like some of his best moments. I was able to catch that match, a few years after it had happened. I remember the rumblings when I was, obviously a small child. Like I saw the match once prior, but it was bits and pieces, and I remember him falling off the fucking the cell in real time. Because my dad was a huge fan. So like I saw those things, but I got to appreciate it around 2005 when Tombstone dropped. And I remember seeing it and being like, dude, holy fuck. Like I
had that DVD too.
Yeah, it was a whole set, man. Randy Orton promoted it for him, so that was kind of cool.
Dude, I fucking loved those DVDs back in the Ruthless Aggression years.
That was one of the ones I actually owned because I wanted it. And I'm glad I did because some of the best matches were a lot of Undertaker's old matches compared to his, even in Ruthless Aggression, they didn't have shit compared to fucking his old school matches, man. Like his match with Yokozuna is one of my favorites. Like it was
talking
hard
about
to choose.
Undertaker and Yoko.
Yeah, it was the casket match. Yeah.
Oh, dude, I love that.
That was a big moment.
Yes.
Yeah, I almost chose that one, but I'm like, for the prolific reasons.
Well, no, Mankind wasn't in that though. We're putting over Mick Foley.
I know. I fucking know.
I feel like him and Yoko, that would have been so good though, low key.
Yeah. But that was my match. Yeah.
All right. So, damn, now you make me want to put over Yoko, my next third. But Daddy, who what's your favorite match?
I gotta go with another Hell in a Cell match that was very prolific in Mick Foley's career when he was Cactus Jack, and that's No Way Out 2000 when he faced Triple H, and when he got back body dropped through the cage and literally went through the ring, bro. I mean, like an image like that, because that was like the first time I've ever seen it. Like that sticks with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like Triple H I feel like, in a lot of ways, Triple H was Mick Foley's one of his greatest rivals. You know what I mean? They went through wars together. You know what I mean? They were all bangers. I mean, look at what they did at Royal Rumble 2000. It doesn't get. You knew when you were gonna get Triple H and Mick Foley. You knew it was gonna be a good match. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing too. Like I was like listening to Mick Foley and Triple H talk about this, and around the time Triple H, like he was already at that main event level, but like he wanted to take it to the next level. And by working with Mick Foley, he was able to do that, which is why Triple H has a lot of appreciation for him, for the way like he put him over. And this is where like we really got that like ruthless, like regal assassin in Triple H. And I think a lot of it has to do with him and Mick Foley, which is why I can't argue with that. But now, if I had to pick one of my favorite matches personally, I loved Backlash 2004, Mick Foley versus Randy Orton. Like, this is where Randy Orton became a superstar, in my opinion.
Yeah, that was actually solid.
I just really enjoyed this a lot. Like, I thought that their feud was so good because Randy at the time was the legend killer. Mick Foley didn't take shit from him while all the other legends took shit from him. So I just really enjoyed this, and I felt like this match really solidified Randy Orton like as a superstar.
Yeah, I agree. There was a lot of spots there. You know, this was kind of like one of Randy's first big fucking matches to kind of show that he could hang with the boys. And this is one of the matches that made Randy Orton who he is today and gave him that credibility. You know, this is what gave him the first real callous and taste of like what you'll really do to your body for this, you know, for the good of the sport, the good of the audience, your career. This was a big one in his career. So, you know, big props to Mick Foley for putting him over like a motherfucker.
And you know, Triple H definitely had this idea of putting Randy in this match because it made Triple H in that those two matches at Rumble and No Way Out. But Owen here, you make a great point. Anytime he was Cactus Jack, you know there was going to be a war, and Mick was ready for it.
Oh,
Now,
100%.
And the thing is, like, think of all the people that Mick Foley made, you know, like into stars because like
he put people over.
He had no problem putting people over, like,
but they had to go through it though. He would only put you over if you were willing to go through it, and having a Mick Foley match in your resume, dude. You stand out above others because you know that shit's gonna fucking hurt. You know that shit's gonna really fucking hurt.
Really helped Edge a lot too. WrestleMania 22.
It helped Edge.
Men's favorite.
That made his stock shoot Ray the fuck up.
It helped Edge. It helped Big Show. It helped Triple H. It helped Orton. You know.
So many people.
Shawn Michaels, even at an advanced stage, like it fucking helped
Undertaker,
a lot of people.
too.
Undertaker, yeah, like it helped a lot of people go along the way. Mick Foley is, I refuse to ever call him a stepping stone. He is a fucking dungeon boss, dude. He helps you level up. I will never say stepping stone.
I don't feel like he gets the kind of appreciation that he deserves either. That's the sad part.
100%.
That's why I love doing this getting put over because we get to acknowledge like all the cool things that he's done in his career.
We get to see him June 14th at the Wrestling Classic, so we get to say him in person.
Good plug there, Daddy. That's right, June 14th, Wrestling Classic. If you guys want to meet Mick Foley in Springfield, Mass, he's going to be there. Also, We Are Wrestling. We're bringing in the Blue Meanie. So if you guys do want to come out to the South End Community Center on the 14th, go right ahead. Blitzkrieg will be having a show later on that night as well. So it's going to be a great day. So if you're in the Western Mass area, highly recommend coming out to meet the hardcore legend Mick Foley himself. But now let's get back into the getting put over. Our favorite segment of Mick Foley is which? Whew, he's had some really good ones.
Favorite segment? Randy Orton, Mick Foley segment when Rock returned. 100%, dude. That was like the reigniting of fucking Rock and Sock connection, dude. Like that was like fucking base nostalgia. They actually ended up performing a WrestleMania together, right?
Yep, WrestleMania 20. It was a 2-on-3 handicap match.
Yeah, against Evolution, right?
Didn't Steve Austin end up coming out? Yeah, I remember.
No. Steve Austin was Goldberg and Lesnar, and then the crowd was booing them throughout the entire night, and then Austin gets the stutters, has his moment.
Yep. But this was like the resurface of the Rock and Sock, and that was a really big moment for a lot of fans, you know, and like it was fun. It was really fun, but it was also super cool because The Rock was starting to become super part-time to casual. So like we got a really big match for Mania and a good decent build up, and it felt like, you know, the glory days of pro wrestling still. So this was a really cool moment.
That's what I liked about WrestleMania 20. Like it brought you back to like those memories. That was their goal. That's why they brought the Dead Man back. They had Rock and Sock together. It was just a really cool, unique card.
It really was.
What about you, Danny? What's your favorite segment?
Any segment that, you know, of him as the commissioner. Like it was just hilarious, and all the shit that he put Edge and Christian through, like you see on the screen, and like it seemed like every Monday he had a different like scenery for his office. Like one night he was in the bathroom, one night he was in the fucking laundry room, one night he was in the fucking parking lot. It was that he had this little fucking mallet. It was just absolutely hysterical. Like
they made a figure out of that. It's one of my favorites.
Oh my god, bro. It just shows like Mick Foley is such a vast character. Like he can thrive in doing anything that you ask him to do. Like, and that makes him even better than, you know, what people look at him as.
Oh, 1000%. I love the Commissioner Foley thing. One of my favorite authority figures in WWE. But now if I had to go with my favorite segment, I got to go with friggin' Mankind and Vince McMahon in the hospital when Stone Cold beat the shit out of Vince, but like what led up to it, I just really enjoyed like Mankind trying to like have Vince break character with the whole Mr. Sacco, friggin' making like balloon animals. Like I just thought that this was just pure gold. Absolutely love that.
If I remember correctly, that was the debut of Mr. Sacco, I think.
Yep, Mr. Sacco's debut. Yep. And then that got massively over. And also got to give an honorable mention to The Rock. Like
this
Rock's
is your
birthday.
life.
Like having like The Rock's teacher. Like, man, this was one of the best segments during the Attitude Era. This is when like they hit all-time high with views.
The Rock's baseball coach.
Yeah, all that stuff was great. Moving on, we do have our favorite year.
I think it's no mistake that I'm a big fan of 1998 Mick Foley. It was just it was his year. Love the tooth sticking out his nose. Good touch. Like I said, it's 98 was his year, and if there's any year that you go back to, undoubtedly it's 1998. Some of the best moments.
What about you, Danny?
I got to go with. I was kind of conflicted, you know. I like the years, you know, 1999 and 2000, you know, just because those are like the segments that stick to me a little bit more. And, you know, I especially loved him when he was like more Cactus Jack than he was Mankind or whatever. Just because I feel like like Cactus Jack, like, you know, Mankind was sort of like a dark, kind of gritty kind of character, whatever. But when he was Cactus Jack, like he could be funny, he could be serious, like he could, you know, have all kinds of range of emotion. You know what I mean? He wasn't just.
What was your favorite year, Danny?
I already said it. I can't choose. I can't choose. I can't choose.
All right, so my favorite year of Mick Foley has got to be 1998. And I just really enjoyed this Royal Rumble, him coming out 3 times as like all 3 characters, Cactus Jack, Dude Love, Mankind. And like 1998, also the Hell in the Cell, like Ben said, with the tooth sticking out. Like, dude, I don't know. Like, I felt like 1998 really set him up like in 1999 when he won the championship and became like the face of the company.
Yeah.
And our favorite rivalry of Mick Foley.
Oh, dude, Undertaker. 100%. It was 2 dark characters, you know, colliding, and it felt really like just 2 fucking Goliaths going at it, you know? Like Undertaker was obviously, and I'm not to fucking quote Hulk Hogan by any means, but like, you know, comparatively to, you know, their shape and, you know, the different, you know, ways that they stood tall, it was very contrasting. But the fact that they were both able to give each other 1,000% in the ring and give us some of the most memorable fucking moments of their rivalry, and, you know, the build up to that big match, you know, it stands out, and it's going to be one of those things that you talk about whenever, you know, whenever you think about the Undertaker, you think about Mankind. When you think about Mankind, you think about the Undertaker. It's just, you know, that's why I had to go with him.
And like his debut, like his first feud was Undertaker because of the whole Paul Bearer thing.
Yep.
But what about you, Danny?
I got to go with Triple H. You know, for the same reasons I said before, like, bro, like they beat the living hell out of each other, but you knew that there was mutual respect between them two. Like, you know, Triple H respected the hell out of Mick Foley, and Mick Foley the same for Triple H. You know what I mean? And they went to fucking absolute war with each other. And like I said, like anytime you saw that they were feuding or they were gonna have a big match or whatever, you knew that match was gonna deliver no matter what stage it was on.
Absolutely. And I can't even say anything because you took the words out of my mouth. Friggin' Mick Foley and Triple H always enjoyed their rivalry. Even going back to Hunter Hearst Helmsley, his first character, like his feud with Cactus Jack there, when we got the debut of Cactus Jack. Like I always just enjoyed their chemistry. And now our biggest what if for Mick Foley.
What if Mick Foley was in the typical superstar shape and didn't go super hardcore and actually had some longevity in his career?
Holy AI.
Chat GPT, baby.
It works, bro. It works.
Danny, you didn't give me an answer, so I assumed your biggest what if was, what if Mick Foley was Santa Claus for real?
No, my biggest what if is like, what if he never won the WWE title?
Oh, that's a good one. Why didn't you say that in the group chat?
I completely forgot, and I think I was out and about doing stuff.
Don't lie to these people. You believe in Santa Claus, and you believe that that's Mick Foley for real.
Come on, bro! Stop giving away my secret. Santa Claus is not gonna visit me in December. God damn it! Come on, bro. He's watching me, bro.
The only thing Danny wants for Christmas is that really fast turtle at Forest Park. All right, so my biggest what if here for Mick Foley is
what happened to his face?
My biggest what if my biggest what if for Mick Foley was what if like he did decide to actually like retire when he was supposed to as like the commissioner? Like, what if we never got him in The Rock at WrestleMania 20 or Backlash 2004?
Why is he in a wheelchair?
Retirement. He's enjoying retirement.
So if you retire, you're automatically in a wheelchair.
Well, Mick Foley did a lot of crazy things, Danny.
Blame the Undertaker.
Blame the Undertaker and Triple H. But guys, that is it for our Getting Put Over segment. This week, we had the honor to put over the hardcore legend, Mick Foley. And next week, Daddy, it's your turn. So who are we putting over next week?
We're going to be putting over Dominic Mysterio, man. Like, for somebody as young as him, he just won the IC title. He's been doing phenomenal work. He's been getting nuclear heat, since he turned heel or whatever and joined Judgment Day. I mean, the kid deserves his flowers. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, 1000%. So, with that being said, now let's get into our We Are Wrestling podcast main event topic. And this is a TV recap, but in a way, some fantasy booking, because we got another new Paul Heyman guy. On Raw, Braun Breaker helped Seth Rollins take out Roman Reigns and CM Punk. What's your thoughts on this? And after we talk about our thoughts, let's fantasy book like who we think could be potentially the next Paul Heyman guy.
Or girl.
It's cool. Obviously it's still too early to put a fucking world title on Braun Breaker, especially with it being a whole new season. It's cool. I like it. Paul's, spoken on, that the fact that he's been wanting to work with Braun Breaker this whole time, like he has a lot of stock in him. He thinks that he's, the next big thing. And, under Paul Heyman, why not? Why not fucking have him chisel out more and, get him some more experience? Him paired up with Seth Rollins is a cool idea, because Seth is an architect and that does, ring very true. Like he knows how to bring the best out of people and, being trained in, to shadow somebody with the experience such as Seth Rollins and also being into the ring with a bunch of these big dogs, like Roman Reigns and CM Punk as well. Yeah, it's going to be doing miles and miles on his career. So I'm excited for him there. In terms of the next Paul Heyman guy, there already is one. It's Braun Breaker. They're not just going to randomly add somebody else now and make this whole new clubhouse. They're not. I do believe 100% that if there is somebody else being added, it's Becky Lynch. Especially since she's with Seth Rollins. Paul Heyman was seen sitting with the both of them. And she just turned on Lyra. So it's a whole bunch of angry, heelish superstars that have a bad temper. So I'm just excited to see what the depth of that is and where we're going to go storyline. But in terms of booking right now, dude, other than Backlash, I couldn't tell you.
All right. Yeah, no, that's fair. What about you, Danny?
I like it, man. Like, part of me saw it coming, then part of me didn't. Like, I marked the fuck out when, he came in with a black hoodie and speared the fuck out of Roman Reigns, and then he speared CM Punk or whatever. And I love the way it was shot because, like, Seth was standing there, so it looked like he was aiming at Seth, and then he goes right past him, goes right for Punk. So I like that visual. And then he, obviously he speared Roman through the barricade there, near the timekeepers area. I really enjoyed it. Braun Breaker is phenomenal. I'm glad to see that they're elevating him away from the IC title. Like, that he didn't just lose it just to lose it. Like, they thought of bigger and higher plans for him.
And I mean, like, him too.
and like I said, like Paul Heyman is not, and like that's pretty much verified because of what we saw on like Saturday night. Paul Heyman is not going to attach himself to something if it's not going to be really cool. That's one thing if Paul Heyman is involved in a storyline, it's going to be one of the biggest storylines in WWE. And Seth is back to being the architect, the character that he was back in like 2015, 2016 or whatever. So like we're going to be seeing big things in having Braun Breaker under the learning tree of both Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins. Like it's just going to elevate him to heights that we've never seen before.
I'm very excited about the pairing here with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman. Immediately, Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman didn't even have to say anything when they first came out, like during the Raw after Mania. It just felt right. Like the chemistry is already there of just them arriving in the building. Like I think that this is long overdue. Like I've never been so excited for Seth Rollins. I think the last time I was excited about him was when he hit Roman Reigns in the back with the chair and officially was like a part of the Authority. That was the last time I was legitimately interested in Seth. So now, like him being with Paul Heyman, I'm very excited about this. And I think Braun Breaker getting added to the equation, I didn't think that this was going to happen at all. I was definitely caught off guard, very surprised. Glad that they have a direction for Breaker, because after losing the Intercontinental title, I thought maybe they would just put him in feuds against big guys and try to build up his credibility again. Glad that's not the case, because I do think that he is a future world champion. I still think to this day, he is somebody I think within the next 5 to 10 years, he's going to be on that Roman Reigns, John Cena, Stone Cold status. Like he's going to be main eventing multiple WrestleManias. He's going to be the next big thing, like literally. So having him with Paul Heyman, I'm very excited.
When he finally locks horns with Jacob Fatu, that shit's going to feed families.
Oh, 1000%. And when it comes to like the alliance, like I do see there is going to be at least one or two more people. And like, I don't know, like I love fantasy booking. Maybe that's why, but I do kind of see like an evolution type of faction here. Like I feel like Seth Rollins is this modern Triple H. Braun Breaker is this modern Batista. And honestly, I think one of the members, I think Nathan Frazier, have him turn on Axiom, because he's always been under Seth Rollins' wing throughout his entire career.
Seth Rollins trained him.
So I think Nathan Frazier, man, like that could be like your Randy Orton in this Dangerously alliance. Maybe even Austin Theory, because he also had a working relationship with Seth Rollins at one point as well. Carmelo Hayes, him and Braun Breaker, they go way back too.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited overall, man. Like when it comes to this whole Paul Heyman thing, something to finally look forward to.
Like I said, man, Paul Heyman's, unless it's going to be really cool, Paul Heyman's not going to attach his name. So, like, I'm on the fucking ride, and in my eyes, Paul Heyman can do no wrong because the guy is legitimately the fucking GOAT.
Oh, absolutely. And a couple things here in the live chat. We got CM Punk and Roman are going to come together, and we are going to get a tag match. Who would have thought? I figured Braun would be a Paul Heyman guy. I didn't think it would be this soon. Me either. I thought that it was always a fantasy thing, and I never believed it would come to fruition.
I think we get that tag team match at either Backlash or maybe Money in the Bank. Probably Backlash.
I feel like Backlash. And our last one that we'll read here before we close off this week's episode, Alex Johnson. I got some good options. My options are Becky Lynch, Nathan Frazier, Drew McIntyre, Austin Theory, Carmelo Hayes, Ethan Page, and Shayna Baszler. I think that's too many people.
Well, no, he's saying like those are like between the choices.
Names that can go into the slot.
Yeah.
I don't see Drew McIntyre because I feel like they're gonna focus on him winning a world championship. Like
I can see Ethan Page, bro. Like when I see Ethan Page, I think of a younger Randy Orton.
Randy Orton, that's a good one. I could see that. Any names come to your mind, Ben, or you don't really care too much?
Like I said, it's too soon, man. It's too soon. It just started. I can't confirm nor deny any names just because it would be wrong of me to do so. It really would. I can't just pull names out of the hat.
Okay, what about anybody that you would be excited about? Just one person that you'd be excited about that could possibly maybe get some more TV time by being a part of this? And it could be anybody.
I had to fuck. More TV time. I'm trying to think about people that don't have TV time that are genuinely worth the TV time. I don't know.
You got to earn your TV time.
If I were to put anybody there, I guess. Honestly, Penta.
All right.
Honestly, I think one of the Lucha Bros needs to go heel, and if anybody could probably do it, and add some luchador-esque to this weird team you're putting together, it's Penta.
Yeah,
that's
not a bad option. But anything else, you guys? Anything else before we close off this week's episode?
Nah, man, solid ass episode. I enjoyed it. We still have SmackDown on Friday, which is going to be a really big show. Aleister Black finally returns. I know I'll be streaming on my channel, so make sure you guys hit that subscribe. I'm 5 subscribers away from 1,950, so help me get there.
Hell yeah. But to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, let us know in the comment below. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure to smash that like button now. It really helps with the algorithm. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac already and you're listening to this episode wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, Google, wherever, please give us a 5-star review, not just any review, a best one review, and download the episodes and give us a follow. But if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac already, over on the YouTube channel where you get the best pro wrestling content, reactions, live watch-alongs, and live episodes of the We Are Wrestling podcast every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I highly recommend you guys to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications. Really helps. And you guys can go follow us on social media. Facebook just hit 8,000 followers. If you guys want to get some daily wrestling news, clips, all that cool stuff, go follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, all that fun stuff. Go subscribe to the We Are Wrestling Clips channel. I know during Mania we didn't post much, but we're going to get back in the swing of things. The link's down in the description box below. You can follow all 3 of us over on our personal social media pages and our other content creating networks. Ben is on Twitch, twitching away every day, doing live streams over there. Music, TV shows, all that cool stuff. You can go check out Danny's live watch-alongs and wrestling reactions over on his channel, Danny Huckins, PW. And this Friday, he will be doing a SmackDown live watch-along, which most likely I'm going to try to do one with him because he has been bugging me a little bit to do one. So I'm going to see if my schedule can align with his, which I still will do reactions and stuff. But if you guys want to go follow my toy channel, Best One Donnie, posting videos over there, wrestling figure reviews, toy hunts, all that. All the links down below. And of course, to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, we are, take it over. Peace.